372 pages we'll never get back. Connor here, me and Mike are in the middle of yet another book we did not expect to like, Empress Theresa by Norman Bouton. And
with illustrations by, well, illustration, the cover, right? It's not a picture book, unfortunately. I wish it would have been.
Oh, man. If it had, there's a term for those Encyclopedia Brown illustrations that show up with a line of dialogue underneath them. I can't remember it, but if that had had these happening, Theresa unfurled her mane. Mm-hmm. The swarm of sharks unleashed a torrent of blood, and geysers of blood shot up as the world was doomed. That would have been a great thing to see illustrated in the cover of Empress Theresa.
Yeah, the Sherlock Holmes, the Strand type stuff, right? When it first came out and was serialized, and then there'd be a line drawing of a guy. He stood over the lifeless body of Smokes, you know. Yes.
Right. Steve threw a coin into a trash can. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get even beyond back to ourselves. Didn't work the way I intended that to come out. But this is an email from a listener named Mark about our last book, which I'm sure we'll continue to be comparing this to. But
yes,
Mark wrote in, said, I'm lucky to work with many readers at my job. One morning last week, my boss was discussing books with us. I probably should have changed Mark's name in case his boss hears this. Too late. My boss was discussing books with us, and he asks me, have you read Mayor of Noobtown? I tell him I have heard of it, but I have not read it. Yes, I'm one of those listeners. He then proceeds to describe the book to me, starting with the beginning. I realize my boss is describing a book where an author describes a main character who then describes what playing an RPG is like. He ended by saying, it was hilarious and I would really like it. There's one scene, he says, where they're at a bar and everyone starts singing and you're thinking, what's going on? But it's from a movie and I don't want to ruin it for you. I managed to keep a blank face. I didn't have the heart to tell him it was too late. It's already been ruined for me.
Wow. It was hilarious?
Hilarious, says the man who's giving him a performance review.
What is happening? What is I'm trying to remember the scene of them describing.
I don't remember that scene. It seems like it was getting ahead of it, maybe. Maybe he's read further in the series, his boss has. Mark, no jury would convict, is all I can say.
It came up. It came up yesterday. I was on the set of we're rebooting Mystery Science Theater 3000 for those of you.
I think that the audience is probably aware.
Some don't know. And so I was on set, and that came up, that thing where someone brings up something like, hey, have you seen that movie? And then it's a movie that you absolutely loathe, and you have to go, yeah, I think I saw that. And they're like, I loved it. And you're like, that was pretty good. Like, you can't say anything until you know what the reality. Bridget said she did it to, like, her hairdresser said something about some singer or something. She goes, my God. And she was just winding up, and the person goes, absolutely top 10, love it, can't, like, right, okay. I love it. It's the best.
Yeah, the only better thing than that is to watch someone else have to be that person where they hate the movie and have to watch them be like, You
just told me 5 minutes ago how much it made you cry.
Yeah, you were going to mail a bomb to the author. What are you doing pretending like you liked it? So, yeah, that's Mark's experience with that. I won't get into too much details with this, but I had a colonoscopy last week. And that has a preparation for it that I'm sure.
Wait, you won't get into too many details?
No, I won't get into details.
All right, okay.
But as you were preparing for it, and sort of dealing with all that things that happened, all I could think to myself was, at least I'm not reading Mayor of Noobtown right now. That is so. There's my review of it.
Wow. All right. Well, should we dive in? I have a lot of notes, so we probably should just go.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We don't have to read all my notes. I just made a lot of notes. Pretty much
There's
every
a lot
sentence.
going on.
There's a lot going on. Do you want to do the plot so far?
Yeah. Theresa's mom saw a fox.
Yes.
10 years later, Theresa saw the same fox. It shot a ball of white light into her stomach, and that was Hal, which is some sort of alien form. This imbued her with the power to throw a baseball fast and accurately. Cut to the President of the United States putting her into a jet with an atom bomb in it that she was able to force herself out of, plummet 40,000 feet, 50,000, 60,000 feet into the ocean, where it then exploded. And she was
I should just add the details. She saved herself by by dragging a bag of Coke bottles with her.
Garbage bag full of 12 Coke bottles.
12 Coke bottles that she emptied and used to keep her buoyant. And that's how she saved herself. So just a little, I don't know if you watch those survival shows or whatever, like How to Live Through Anything or whatever. Just drag a bag of Coke bottles if they're going to explode you with an atom bomb in a plane made for that purpose.
And she's married to a guy named Steve, who she met in college. She's 18 years old. And by the time she is drug out of the water, we get a little flashback in this section, too. The Prime Minister of the UK, which is where she is, Prime Minister Blair.
Prime Minister Blair.
Peter Blair. Is sort of consulting with her in terms of how they're going to save the world, because this is what the actual description of the state of the world is. The wind has stopped because of Hal, the alien being. Europe and the United States can survive for 2 years. Unfortunately, the rest of the world cannot. We'll lose 1 billion people in the first year. Beyond 2 years, our economies totally collapse. All social structures break down. All animals are slaughtered for food. Insects will spread uncontrollable epidemics. In 5 years, there will be few of us left. The world is dying.
Yes,
that's where things stand, and that isn't. I read that because it's important to keep those stakes in mind as we progress with what happens in this section.
It is very true, and so there's no weather, right? So she said, like, people. She says later during this reading, and we'll get to it, that people plant crops, but the crops don't grow.
Yes.
Which I appreciate that, you know, some people are like, look, it's not going to work out because there's no rain or anything, but let's just plant them anyway because this is what we do. Yes. But then the other thing is, like, people in the, the tornado belt and everything, they must be like, hey, this is great.
Sure, I mean, yeah. Silver lining. It's
couple years without my trailer being wiped out. I'm good with that. I don't know.
Insurance premium plummeted. This is yeah. Some people are like, I don't know. I'm 67. I'm retired. I'm still going to plant my garden. What do you want me to do?
So anyway, she brings about somehow she and this Hal thing, which to me is like it is the most nebulous. I don't know what is going on with Hal. There's no. And that's kind of what the whole book is just like, I don't know what the purpose of this is. I don't know what he's trying to say. Like Jim Tice, what is he trying to say? Well, he's trying to be like one of his writers that he admires, Right. Sean Penn, what is this about? Why would anyone do this? Well, he's trying to write, these are his ideas, and he's trying to write like Charles Bukowski. Okay, that makes sense. Colleen Hoover, what's she trying to do? She's just trying to be stupid and entertaining.
Tear jerk and sell 1 million copies.
Yeah. What is this guy trying to do? What is he trying to say? Oh, the Kim guy, the
Charles Kim Super Constitution.
Yeah. What is he trying to say? It's a screed, but he decided to write it as a novel. These are his political ideas.
Yeah, he had some tax ideas and felt the need to graft romantic troikas onto them in order to move copies.
So the point is, what is this guy trying to say? I don't understand what this is, or why he felt the need to write. Chapter 8 is the longest thing I've ever read. Why do you need 7,000 words? What is he saying? Do you have any idea?
No, you were talking about. I have no idea what Hal is. He explains. In somewhat in detailed language about Hal in this section at many different times. You come away from all of those saying, I have no idea what Hal is, after having just read him try to attempt it in very, not very complex dialogue because his characters are idiots. But what he's trying to, he has lots of things where the old man shows through in him. And this guy is, he's probably in his 80s now, but he has lots of sort of codgerly rants or reviews of old movies that are very apparent when they're portrayed through an 18-year-old pretty girl. But in between that, whatever he's trying to do with the sci-fi and the HAL and the dark matter, no idea what he's aping it from or what he's trying to accomplish with it.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. Like, he read something, or so, because that comes through. Like, what is the Captain Kane Mutiny?
Kane Mutiny.
Obviously made a giant impression on him. And, maybe people his age. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway.
Keep in also, mind, the other thing was discussed at length in the last episode. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, keep that in mind. I had to look back at that. I was like, this was brought up, right? Oh, yes, it was. Our heroine, Empress Theresa Hartley, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because she married Steve Hartley.
Yes, at 18. And talks a lot about her college experience. Anyway, when she's in the UK, she's a celebrity beyond anything that's ever been. Like, right? There's no like superstar. There's no one. Like, I heard, I think I brought it up before. Boris Becker at his height was 99% recognizable in Germany. Like, you can't go anywhere. I suppose Brad Pitt worldwide would be. But
sure,
this
Princess
is what
Diana,
she's like.
Yeah.
Yes, Princess Di.
I imagine it's like, well, she describes it. She wakes up in her hospital bed. She goes to the window, and it's like Life of Brian. Doesn't that happen he opens them to, I think he's naked, but to the masses that have gathered there to worship him. She says there's 1 million people outside her window. So it's like the Pope reading Christmas Mass or something like that. There's literal worshipful throngs there to receive her.
Because she escaped an atom, but I don't know. We'll get into why. The reasons why are so abstruse. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So she's hanging out with. She's in Chapter 6. She's hanging out with Blair, Prime Minister Blair.
Prime Minister Peter Blair.
Peter Blair. And then they bring up Nixon, who I believe is a real person. And then
sure, it says it just does say President Nixon, so
it could be.
You never know.
Dan Nixon,
Ricky. Yeah, I guess Ricky doesn't work. Sure. Dan. Yeah.
And then President Martin, he had to walk away from the. I guess you try to blow up a 18-year-old married girl in and she saves herself with Coke bottles, and then appears in the UK. That is a terrible scandal. And you don't survive that. So he just walks away.
Yeah, he resigns in disgrace, and the vice president, Veronica Stinson, takes over, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think they don't know where he is. He sort of just retreats in shame. He goes to wander the earth like David Carradine in Kung Fu.
I thought he would get on a ship and diminish in the West, but I don't know. That's President. That's the last we see of President Martin.
As far as this section goes, for sure. Who knows if he makes a dramatic appearance later?
And it says she's trying to figure out what's going on, and they keep showing her BBC footage, I guess.
Yeah, they prepared a highlight reel to catch her up because she was unconscious for 2 weeks after they pulled her out of the water.
So I suppose they wheel in one of those, carts, the AV carts that they do at high school, and show her, plug in a VHS tape and show her a BBC film. And that's most of this section, right? They keep going back to the BBC. But it says the United States was also in a terrible mood. I guess countries can get, stagflation and stuff. That was a pretty bad time.
Sure,
the energy
the
crisis. We're all in a bad mood. We have malaise. Put a sweater on.
Keep in mind what I read to catch everybody up on. Surviving for 2 years. Rest of the world has 5 billions will die. Yeah, I guess it'd be if you were just walking down the street whistling to yourself and snapping. People might look askance at you at that point in time.
It's all going great for me. Hey, could you keep that to yourself, man? We just slaughtered all of our animals.
Right. But in order to alleviate some of the tension in the room, she to Prime Minister Blair's assistant Nancy I must have made some of my trademarked funny faces because Nancy laughed. This is the first mention of her trademarked funny faces, but I'm glad that she isn't bearing all the weight of this on her shoulders, of the billions dying and the planet being doomed. Because the funny faces, I'm imagining like Aziz Ansari in that Human Giant sketch.
The guy, who was that? Funny. It was Funny Faces I Can Make, right?
Yes.
One of the original viral videos.
It went viral because there were 3 videos you could choose from.
Yes. Yes, that I noted too. She had trademarked those faces. Glad you're having fun. And then he's recounting how she was rescued from this, the atom bomb explosion. And they sent a ship out to her, and I don't know, I am not a sailor. I have some in my family, people from the Navy, and I have friends. Let me just see if this is true. The ship's rolling motion was comforting to sailors who loved the rockabye baby sensation. Is that true at all?
Yeah.
What is it, like sometimes 45 feet, if you're going over waves, like up and down? Is that comforting?
The massive seasickness that must invoke, I would assume. Like,
it's comforting. All right, it's comforting. Until I learn otherwise, it is comforting. Rockabye baby?
My parents went from the tip of South America to the I forget what the pass is called, but to Antarctica, and that's where they have those. So just the Drake Passage. So they call it the Drake Shake, where it's just seasick alley as they do that, because it is some of the biggest swells there. And I think they got lucky on one of the journeys. But yeah, I didn't describe it as rockabye baby. It was more of just to like lie down and grip things and hope the world stops spinning soon.
Well, to be fair, they are not sailors.
True. That's true.
It is comforting to sailors. So the ship made it there, and they searched for her. I guess there's a bunch of detail about it. It's all very vague, but in the middle of all of this, she's being surrounded by these sharks, and they are called, what is, white tip sharks?
Yes, the bloody ocean white tips, the scourge of seamen.
It killed more people than all other types of sharks combined. I was like, look, if you're writing a book, I trust you. I'm sure you did the research. I did the research. It's not true at all.
Good. Are they a real type of shark?
Trust but verify. I don't think so. There's different names for them.
Okay.
But none are attributed to the great white, which does kill the most people.
Okay.
A lot of people say bull sharks are so aggressive and they can swim in fresh water, so those must kill more. But apparently it's not true by statistics. The great white kills the most people. Okay. So whatever this white tip shark is, it does not kill more people than all other types of sharks combined.
Fax King, perhaps, was consulted on this.
It could be.
Tome?
Could be, yes.
Well, there are tens of thousands of them surrounding her in a frenzy. The water is red with blood. This is the second time in the past, I think, 4 books we've read where a frenzy of 10,000 sharks has surrounded our abnormally intelligent, insanely hot female protagonist. I wouldn't have predicted that if you had given me that this is going to be the trope that starts recurring in our books, like long fingers and swarms of sharks surrounding hot geniuses.
And I don't want to be, look, it's just, the roll of the dice, but just happens to be two guys writing these hot women surrounded by sharks. Coincidence? I don't know. It's the sample size is very small. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah. Say what you will about Colleen Hoover. Probably doesn't happen in a lot of her books.
Mm-hmm.
I shouted out something I liked in the last time. Her yearbook quote, like, I was born, I had a good time, I was vaporized by an atomic blast. I thought that was funny. This part I thought was pretty awesome too. The sailors know that she's in the middle of tens of thousands of sharks swimming in a spiral, blood everywhere. They start blasting them with their machine guns. Thousands of rounds of sharks were fired per minute, but only a small fraction of sharks were being killed. Many times, as many sharks swimming deeper down were coming up to the surface to join the frenzy. The slaughter was working. So that's awesome. That's like a a metal album cover or something, like, I guess, or a Sharknado movie. But
I would just point out, thousands of rounds were fired per minute, but only a small fraction of the sharks were getting killed. Guys?
Yeah.
Best and brightest?
Were you doing
Rockabye Baby? Aren't you feeling very comforted?
That would be like, shove off, like, let me take a hand at that. Well, okay, harder than it looks. Sorry about that, Neil. I shouldn't have condemned your shark shooting ability before. Fish in a barrel? Maybe find a different analogy.
Yeah. So this is PM Blair is recounting this to her, right? This is what we did.
Right.
Yes. And then he says this to her after this. She's rescued from the sharks, obviously, because she's alive. This is in all of these coming chapters, we're learning stuff about her, and we already know that she's alive. So all drama is drained out of it, because this is not like a serial where Captain Marvel blows up in a train and you're like, now I'll never know whether he's actually alive or not. We know she is. Anyway, when I heard you were dead, the tears leaked from my eyes. What, are you a robot that we just brought in? We need to adjust your AI? What a weird way to say that. When I heard you were dead, the tears leaked from my eyes.
It is
First of all, what is wrong with you? What?
It is maybe Peter Blair is the android replicant of Tony Blair that they had to bring in. It does seem like, I think someone said that The Room was a movie that aliens had studied human life and then got it about 85% right and came down to do it. This is the line of dialogue you could imagine Tommy Wiseau saying, because he's not 100% there in terms of how humans actually talk.
That would be great if it was a Westworld thing at the end and PM Blair peeled off a mask. There was a titanium skeleton underneath.
Look, I'm not putting anything past this guy. I have no idea where this is going. He then explains to everyone, because it ended. She got rescued. She was alive for the whole last chapter. She went on a shopping montage. It was never addressed why she had brought the garbage bag of Cokes with her. So this was, I guess, left-handed like Captain Marvel. Your empty bottles were found in your suit, and we learned how you remained afloat. Of course, when you were on the Ronald Reagan, nobody would have believed you could escape the plane, so nobody was suspicious of anything you carried on board. Again, the best and brightest. You were allowed to carry the garbage bag of bottles without anybody giving it a thought. The reason for wanting to remain afloat was easy to guess. A woman doesn't mind dying so much if she knows her body will be preserved. That's another yearbook quote for you.
I was going to ask, women listeners out there, true? You good with this?
Yeah, a guy's got a gun to your head as you wait in line at the bank teller and just being like, "Are you going to preserve my body?" Oh, of course. I'm just.
What are you
my
so
human shield
upset
now.
about? I'm going to preserve your body. I'm not a moron.
Women be shopping and preserving their bodies,
and be floating in frenzies of sharks.
So that's all it was. She took the thing and made a very makeshift buoyancy suit out of the empty Coke bottles, and then I think Hal was what provided the force field that prevented the sharks from actually getting to her.
What I wondered though was if they said you could carry anything on and people wouldn't notice, because who would have ever thought you would escape the plane? What if she had like a cartoon, like a big bag, like Bugs Bunny, and it said plane escaping, equipment in a bag, like, you're not going to escape our plane. No, I'm not even going to try. Why do you ask?
Yeah, what if the bag was, sort of writhing suspiciously? She had a sack of weasels or something. Or they're not going to question that? Like, where are we drawing the line here?
Nicolas Cage would have been curious about that.
I guess it was just, he's implying that it was essentially your last meal on death row, so they're not going to question if you want to have astronaut ice cream and with gravy on it. They're just like, hey, you got 2 hours to live. What do we care?
So then, again, there's a lot of layers, a lot of frames to this. But this is Prime Minister Blair is talking to her about the stuff in the past, right? Mm-hmm. And she's sitting there amongst her hat boxes and, right, she went on a shopping spree or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is PM Blair. When I saw it was a girl, it was too late to change my mind. Oh, this is he addresses the Commons, right? He goes to Parliament or whatever.
Oh, yep.
When I saw it was a girl, it was too late to change my mind. What could I do with her with 6,000 people on the ship? And then this is back to her. I hate using cliches, but in this case, there really wasn't a dry eye in the room. It was a pitiful scene. What? What is... I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what is pathetic.
Tears were leaking for everyone's eye. That's what was happening.
Why are people crying? And keep in mind, put a triple underline under "I hate using cliches." Would you please?
Okay, great.
We'll get back to that.
Well, this is
in the room. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a Navy admiral.
He was called before the. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I think it's just supposed to be him, like Sheriff Brody when the boy dies type of thing. He's just broken, even though I don't know. His guys just fired tens of thousands of rounds at sharks, so I imagine he was probably a little bit of a turn to go from that jacked up doing that to like pretending like you're sobbing about finding the girl's body in the water. Cliches also. This is Prime Minister Blair speaking again. He says, "Your death made most people give up hope. Universal starvation could not be prevented. The end times had come." Nancy had mentioned that Blair majored in literature in college, and it showed. He spoke dramatically. Nancy said he was always talked like he was in a Shakespearean play. Is that what those sentences were just echoes of?
If I pointed out that he was also hip thrusting during those, maybe that would be a little more of a Shakespearean joke coming your way.
The end times had come.
And so he says to her about the rescue, "Your clothes were full of coagulated shark blood. It was a frightening sight." I just, again, chapter after chapter of this, she's alive. So, like, it was a frightening sight. I'll take your word for it. I'm pretty good now. I just went on a hat buying spree.
Making funny faces.
Making trademark funny faces. So I don't know what to tell you. It's like telling your kid, you got an appendicitis when you were young and you almost died. Like, okay. I mean,
next TikTok, scrolling, don't care, Dad.
Really, can't help you now.
I did like they were going to play something for her because they thought she had died. She was in a coffin. She's dead for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And they decided that the most appropriate piece for the girl descended from the Irish was a soulful instrumental version of Danny Boy. So that's the Brain Trust really came up with that one. Was like, what do we play for the girl? How about a song about a boy? There we go.
I did. I laughed out loud at this, by the way, because they recover her. She is dead. He says emphatically, "Get Steve Hartley on the phone," I ordered. I did laugh out loud at that. I'm sorry. I don't think it was meant to be a funny laugh out loud line, but it was for me. So
no, it's great. Just the fact that I do think they've been married for maybe 3 months at this point in time, and so that this guy, this sort of like loser husband, has been sitting at home alone and being like, I don't know. I was ready to move on. Like, I'm in college. There's a lot of fish in the sea, and he's being looped in by prime ministers. That's not the okay. No, he keeps going. He calls him. Will she be the same Theresa? That, sir, is unpredictable. It would be sad to see her a vegetable. I was just imagining Steve like flipping through FanDuel parlays on his phone. Like, yeah, it'd be real sad to see her a vegetable. I wonder. Yeah, parlay the Knicks with the Thunder tonight. Oh yeah, very upset about Theresa.
So the whole country. This is just a little peek now at the author. This is what I'm saying. Like, I do not understand what he's trying to say, but his theology is interesting because the people are going to pray for her. I guess. Okay. Why do the people care? I don't know. Because her mom saw Fox, I guess, so they care. But is this prayer going to work, or will God listen to this prayer? or refuse the prayer. He can't. We shall be insistent. So that's just an interesting theology.
Right.
Like, hey God, could you heal my my broken leg? Like, can't do that. Please? All right. You're so insistent.
He's like one of those really pushy pest control guys at your door, so you just break down and hire him. Like,
right.
Wow, no one's ever thought of that before.
He can't refuse us because we're going to be insistent. Okay. All right. It's just an interesting theology.
There was a line before just talking, again, about the stakes as she's making her funny faces. Blair says, for the most of the world, there was no consolation. Dreams of a good future were gone. There was nothing to look forward to but misery or death. He's just describing the Mets season at that point in time. This isn't about the wind stopping. That's just it's been a rough road trip for them. That was like 5 pages back, and I wanted to go back to make the Mets joke. So
that works for me. So Prime Minister Blair still going on, and like she's no longer in a hospital bed or anything. I think all of us have been in that position where you're like, oh, you came to visit, great, and then they sit there and go, no, it was amazing. I barely got here today. My car wouldn't start, and was like, yes, okay, and you can't do anything. In this case, he's going on and on, but he's talking to the person who's alive, and he's like, a minute went by. Your chest heaved in what looked like the breath of death, a final reflexive moment. And it goes on and on. I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm right here in front of you.
We've established I have superpowers from some alien being, so none of this should be that surprising once you've accepted that, which I guess granted, it was only allowing me previously to accurately throw a baseball, so it's a big leap, but...
And she had the red dot in her, right, where she can aim?
Well, that's what allowed her to throw the baseball accurately.
Yeah,
I guess
she still has the red dot
but...
in front of her. Which, by the way, is it kind of like monovision when you have a contact, one that's out close focus and one far focus? Everything is like, but then your brain adjusts. I wonder, does she, like during the day, like all of a sudden the red dot, like, God, I'm just trying to sign the tab at my, Friday's tab here. And this red dot keeps... What is the tip?
I wonder if it's,
I can't read that.
I wonder if it's like when I do the photo hunt game, the matching thing where you merge the two dots onto each other. If she's always looking at the world like that, and that's what lets her do it. So maybe the funny faces are her constantly crossing her eyes because of the damn dot. I don't know.
Don't make a funny face. She's trademarked those.
Okay.
She'll sue you.
Watch out, Aziz. He says, she's talking to Nancy. She says, what kind of person I would be very important. I told Nancy, he's not talking about the wind. He's talking about what I'll do later. He knows I won't mess up the world like a world dictator. And Nancy has to be somewhat alarmed that she's just sort of casually bringing that up. Like, no one had mentioned that is a possibility. That's you're the one introducing that possibility by saying you won't do it. That's quite concerning at this point in time.
But, I mean... It's kind of a leap, isn't it, to stop the wind to world dictator? I'm not saying that's not a massive, powerful thing to do, stop the world's wind. I'm just saying she doesn't seem to have any... She's going hat shopping. I mean, it's not like... She's not Muammar Gaddafi, right? It's like I just found out I can control the wind. Bow down before me, all of you.
Yeah,
world dictator.
Yeah, she hasn't suggested that she needs the key to the nuclear arsenal or anything like that. That's setting the stage for that. She doesn't even know how to control Hal. Really, the only reason I guess they're worshiping her is because she's the only person that has any contact with it. So their Hail Mary is that they hope she'll be able to harness this, even though she has no idea what it is, how to use it, or anything like that.
Right, and in the meantime, Prime Minister Peter Blair, decidedly not Tony Blair, is just swinging by her room, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's commanding thousands of troops to guard her. But he's just stopping by hey, I was just at Downing Street and this is on my way home, so I thought I'd come by and bring you a sandwich. Everything going okay? I don't understand what's happening.
Right, because I mean, we all know how the world sort of lost its mind during the pandemic in 2020. This is 1,000 times worse than that, obviously, because the end is in sight. Food banks are running out. People are rioting. People have probably seized control, and shootings and all things are happening like that. So it's one of those things where they show how the presidency ages someone. That's probably happened to Blair in these 2 weeks that she was dead. But he's still just taking the time to stop by her. And there appears to be no real issues happening other than the imminent death of billions. But everyone's taking it pretty chill.
And they also, how would you attribute it to her? I guess just from the shark thing? Is everyone, why does everyone on Earth, there's no wind? Well, you know who's causing it, right?
Right, sure. We all know. I've been saying that for years, frankly.
That hat-shopping 18-year-old. What? I don't understand what's going on. Why
that's the thing. Yeah, people accept it, I guess, because she survived the nuclear blast, but she didn't survive it. She fell out of the plane, so she survived the plane fall, which happens every now and then to a skydiver or something.
But then she's beloved because of it? Why is she beloved? I don't understand that.
He's made no mention of the many, many, ethnic groups or minorities that people have now blamed this on, and wherever their neck of the woods is, that they are not only are they not interested in Theresa, they are very interested in blaming these other people for all of their woes that have happened all of a sudden. The wind stopped, an excuse.
I know who that is.
Yes.
Let's lock those people in a barn and burn it down, shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
So, we did it for Theresa. That's why. We get special missives from her. We could tell by the way she was making those funny faces what she really wanted us to do.
So then he, drops off a salad or whatever, and then she says to, is it Nancy?
Yeah.
Her name was McGill. She Poor Blair, dealing with me must be like dealing with a space alien, she laughed. Yeah, well, poor me, I had to deal with a real alien who was destroying the world, and everybody expected me to save them. It is a weird analogy. It must be like dealing with a space alien. That's kind of what we're talking about.
It's the whole reason we're interested in you. It's, it's you. He has bonded with you, right? That's the whole point. He's inside you.
Foxes are aliens. We all know that. Come on. Just a bad analogy.
Sure. Dealing with an alien is very much like dealing with an alien. That doesn't fly on the SATs. Mm-hmm. That's how this chapter ends. It just says, she's about to deliver an address, I guess. All of humanity had been sweating blood all day waiting to hear what I had to say. Is that an expression? If so, humanity should get that checked out.
Sweating blood all day. Yes, this is one of his. That's his biblical thing. There. And then the earth stood still. Keep in mind, she hates cliches. So. two in a row.
What's the main consequence of that? Baseball games in America had been postponed. Somehow the Mets still managed to lose. It was a grim day.
Baseball has been postponed, but we still love you, 18-year-old hat shopper. What is happening?
I like that the baseball games hadn't been postponed when it was announced that billions would be dead by the end of the year. The world's food supplies needed to be rationed because no new crops could be grown. It was like, hey, people need entertainment.
I like that it's kind of like there's a bit of lawlessness, right, around the pandemic and everything. And, I had never seen this before. You've been on a freeway, right? You're on a freeway and someone just comes by at 130 miles an hour in the left lane. Mm-hmm. All right. They're just there's no laws. Who cares? That hasn't stopped. I like that people are just I'm still going to do that. That worked out pretty well for me. I see no downside. You're just driving on just a normal freeway. You look in your mirror my God, get out of the way.
Yeah,
so just 130 miles an hour. So the fact that, there is supposedly now laws are still being enforced, people are just nah, not really.
Right. Yeah.
Who's going to stop me?
That's how she gets one of those countless traffic accidents that everyone sees happen hundreds of times in their lifetime, as she said in the last episode. That's people drive
right by those hideous hundreds of them.
In the next chapter, chapter 7, it starts off with something that I do find delightful, which is when the author can't help himself by including just one of his bitter old Andy Rooney kind of rants. Sure. He was talking about, she flashes back to one of my BC professors was commenting one day about this and that. He mentioned how it annoyed him to see the talking heads on television keep talking all the time like they had something important to say. They just lowered their credibility. I was determined not to speak unless necessary. Then when I did, people would know what I was saying, what I believed. So his little, he doesn't care for cable news, which does come up again in this section.
I did like that in the fiction of this thing, she's paying, what, $90K a year for BC, and this is the kind of observation. Hello, I'm glad you all came today. You seen these cable news guys? Yap, yap, yap. Tell me when you get to something interesting, huh?
All right, class dismissed. This was Physics 101.
She's going to a televised meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where billions of people are going to be there. So she walks in first, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she wonders where Blair is. Peter Blair, Prime Minister Blair. I was early and Blair was not there. He was probably caught in the bathroom. Like Mr. Bean style? Like his tie wrapped around the float on the toilet.
He's dropped his speech in there like Norman. The pages are all wet.
Caught in the bathroom? The Prime Minister?
Give the Prime Minister a break.
His bodyguards outside, like knocking on the door. Prime Minister Blair?
Sir, could you turn the fan on there? We are sitting right outside here. This is
Tony. I mean, Peter.
And then at this meeting, this was a section we covered in Real or Fanfic, but it was the classic Grandpa No, where she's wearing a green outfit that's modest, 5 inches above the knee, with not much cleavage, but it didn't hide my well-turned figure. All right, my chest and butt were well outlined. There, I said it. So call the police. And we did have that in Real or Fanfic. It was not specified that it was on the heels of the announcement that billions would die in 2 years. All food was going to be rationed, and the world has 5 years left. Essentially, it does put it in a completely different context when that's what you know.
Yes. And also her hair does frizz out.
Oh, right.
So that's, another reason that people were like, ooh. This comes up as like a plot point that her hair is kind of unruly.
It's how... Mm-hmm. She keeps calling it a magnificent mane, but she says it's dried and flared out, and it's meant to be good. So I think this guy just doesn't know how to describe women's hair in a positive way.
What? We've all known people who's kind of like, yeah, my hair, it never does what I say. Oh, it's humid down here. My hair is big or whatever. But people are like, ooh. Right. I mean, I guess if this author only goes to like the VFW and, everyone there is kind of balding or whatever, he's probably like, you see that woman with hair over there?
Yeah. If you do see the picture of the author, he does look like the author of Mayor of Noobtown put into an aging app about 30 or 40 years. So that's a fun challenge if you want to try that. But she's having to look at all these guys being like, my chest and butt are down here. Everyone's looking at my hair.
I just want you to, if you have time, just pull up the photo of that guy. If you have to pause it for just a brief second.
Norman Bouton?
Yes, just pull it up and come back for this. Okay, now you're back. Okay, great. It showed my magnificence in full-length profile. The technicians started grinning. They knew and knew what I knew, that I knew that they knew, etc. I struggled to maintain an innocent expression, but the grin worked its way out. I couldn't help myself. I had to say, you should see the little black nothing dress I had on the first time Steve entered my dorm room. The technicians and government men all laughed. So just now look at the picture of the guy who wrote that.
There we go. Ah!
There you are.
Oh, man. It's an important thing to just remember if you are out there chatting with someone who says they're an 18-year-old on the internet wearing a green dress that accentuates their boobs and chest, just make sure that it's not this guy and someone that looks like him. It's just because it probably is, and that's important. If you click on the picture of him on Google Images, it shows you similar images, and they are all guys who look like variants of him. Which is a really incredible sight. I'll post that picture in our description here because it's something to behold. He's of a type.
So that's her. That's what she says, and they all laugh. That's a funny thing. You should have seen the little black nothing dress. Like, oh, God.
They take time from their tongues rolling across the table and hitting themselves on the head with the shoe and banging on the table with a chair to laugh as they do that.
And did they laugh on camera because there's billions of people watching, right? I assume it's just on. It's like C-SPAN, right, or whatever. It's just like people
it's like a live feed. It's a hot feed.
Yeah, people are coming in getting coffee.
But they're doing some makeup on her. Blair comes in and they address again. Oh, it says 4 billion people are watching it. Mm-hmm. So more than half of the world's population, and they start talking about Hal. They get this exchange. I've believed for a long time he's made of dark matter. What is dark matter? Nobody knows, but there's a lot of it. It just reminded me of some of the Plan 9 discussions of aliens. And they talk about dark matter for quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
I think it's what
it seems like a little bit of a Socratian dialogue, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. How do we know it exists? We only know about it from its effects on gravity. Galaxies don't rotate. Can anything be made of dark matter? Why not? They can't see, blah, 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 just back and forth. But just for a long time. Yeah, but you went down the wrong alley, man. I don't know what you're... Right? I thought for a long time it's dark matter. The first Socratic question would be, why do you think that? What evidence do you have for that? None.
Right.
Okay, then we're done talking about it.
I think it's just one of those things like unobtainium where you can just be like, that sounds like a science fiction term that literally I can tell you anything about, and it would be like, sure, makes sense. If it's dark matter, then it can do this, like sort of the way a black hole works in sci-fi.
I guess so.
I imagine that 4 billion viewer count is plummeting pretty rapidly as they start doing that dark matter discussion. But then this is where they talk about her hair. When Hal merged with me, my hair started growing thicker. I looked at it under the microscope. It's nearly twice as thick as other girls' hair. I guess Hal keeps it full of water. This has helped you? It looks good, I smiled. Several questions.
Yeah, I have so many from this.
So she looked at her hair under the microscope. I'm not sure when, but nearly twice as thick? Is that notable? Like, that could just be switching to the more expensive shampoo at this point in time. It's not even twice as thick. It's just
I'd have to ask someone, I guess, if microscope, your hair is... what is the range of thickness of a hair? And I'm assuming twice as thick is kind of that's just a normal variation. I don't think
She's using some volumizing product. And how many other girls was she recruiting to this study? Was she plucking the hair surreptitiously? Were the other girls being like, "Hey, did Theresa ask you for some of your hair? Like, what is going on in there? Do you think that it's a weird thing with Steve? What do they do?"
And is it true that hair thickens with water? I mean, I assume it. I don't know. I assume there's a certain absorption of keratin in water. I don't know. But says, this is a good question in return. Hal thickens your hair, gives you throwing accuracy, gives you great strength, and defended you from sharks? Putting aside the individual effects, what is the purpose of these behaviors? In other words, why are you writing a book about this? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, Hal is a very confused, he's like assembling a very lame superhero team. Thick hair woman, accurate thrower, shark defender. You will be the shitty X-Men. I don't know.
I was wondering, could we recreate this moment that happens right during this, as they're trying to figure out who Hal is?
Okay.
What does he get from the merger? I think that was the PM. That was a tough question. I thought about it for 20 seconds.
Okay, sure. All right. Sure.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
What does he get from the merger? Boy, that was a tough question. I thought about it for 20 seconds.
What does Hal get?
Let me think. How many people are watching this?
4 billion.
4 billion. Ooh, we're getting the live ticker. That is, yeah.
I wonder if they're showing it in Iceland. I've always wanted to go there.
No.
Golden Circle.
So it's like 3 a.m. in Asia, right?
So they're staying up to watch it.
They're still staying up to watch it.
Yeah, but does the government let them? They do
should
control.
Probably get back to this question about the merger.
Well, he becomes pretty something more than he would be on his own. It must be pretty dull in the dark matter universe.
Why do people put specific periods of time?
It's not the last one as well for this section. She goes on to say immediately after that, or no, I guess Blair says, a stupid Hal who has a need. A fox walked up to your mother before you were born, and Hal merged with you 10 years later. Are there 2 Hals? And so are the people in, like, Saudi Arabia, are the people in Cambodia, like, looking at their subtitles, being like, this can't be right. This can't be what they're saying here. Like, what the hell is going on? I think something's wrong with our translation feed. Like, a stupid Hal who has a need? What is I'm switching over to the camel races. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, and so this is where they're trying again. What did you say? 4 billion people?
4 billion people are watching this.
Yeah. Okay. And then Blair I think he leaves the meeting. Oh no, she leaves the meeting. She needs a break.
Okay. Yes.
So like I don't know whether people they put up the little screen like we'll be back in a second.
Yeah, or so just they Arby's had already bought some ads that they're running even though they're out of roast beef. So it's like, come in for the new big tasty at Arby's.
And then they have to do, by law, they have to do some of those like public service ones. Got herpes, don't ignore the signs.
Right. Eric Roberts is still advertising walk-in tubs for the elderly, but that industry will never die.
So she needs a break, so she leaves. And then she says, it was an hour and 15 minutes later when Prime Minister Blair knocked on the door. Nancy let him in. I was sitting at a table. So I'm going to, that's my new technique for leaving a meeting. I'm going to take a little bio break and I'll be back in a second. And then an hour and 15 minutes later, oh, hey, you're just there eating hot Cheetos. Okay. Oh, hi, I said cheerfully and took another look at my notepad. I guess I have enough.
What the hell is wrong with you? You disappeared for an hour and 15 minutes and 100,000 people are dead because of the riots. They took that as a sign from you to go outside and start burning each other.
Do you like my hat?
I do not. He gets her back in front of the camera because there are billions of people watching and they need to fill this airtime. And I'm going to read this whole thing to you because this is a description of Hal. We're getting close to his theory, and then I'll ask you this question at the end of this section, and then you respond, and then I'll tell you how Prime Minister Blair responds.
Yeah. Okay.
The Hals cling to objects made of matter. Think of syrup on pancakes. The Hals are the syrup, and they assume the shape of the pancakes. Most of the Hals clung to rocks billions of years ago. They'll be there forever. A few Hals wandered into planets with living creatures. An animal has a more complicated shape than a rock, so when Hal slipped off a rock during a landslide or something, there was a good chance he'd cling to an animal and stay there. An animal has appendages that act like grappling hooks. Hal won't slip off. The animal grows old and dies. But now the animal's shape is imprinted in Hal like the pancakes in syrup. The next thing he clings to will be similar. Does this make sense, Mike?
Well, it was halfway through it. I had the handcuffs, the plastic handcuffs. I zip tied your arms behind your back. I made the gesture circling my ear with my finger
yes.
to the guys who were standing there with tasers and guns, and they hauled her away. So at the very last line was as she was being led out the door to the whatever passes for a loony bin in the UK.
Okay, so that was your response. Here's what Prime Minister Blair said. Yes. He's on board. He's on board with the pancake syrup rock imprinting on an animal discussion of Hal.
Because you said, sir, to 4 billion people that it was dark matter. Like, I don't know. I was talking on my hat. What do you want me to say?
Oh, so that's just that's being like, here's how I'm going to break it down so all these rubes out there in Alabama can understand this. It's to use a popular analogy, pancake syrup and rocks. There you go.
Yes.
Everyone can understand this.
Yes. And she said nobody could follow my reasoning, right? Was that
okay?
Was that reasoning? The pancake syrup thing?
Yeah, I'll bet nobody could follow my reasoning. The technicians showed their confusion. So I think she realized she has to probably elaborate on this for a bit longer. And she does. Oh my God, it keeps going. So this is still a 4 billion people watched broadcast. She says some animals hunt by throwing things. Snakes spit venom. Is that throwing something? Okay. When I fell out of the plane, Hal stopped the wind so I could go back to flying. That's okay. Because she says a high wind can knock creatures to the ground. I see birds and bees flying around. When there's high, it seems like they're
ocean birds. They seem to navigate it pretty well.
Easy to do it. But that's why Hal stopped the wind, because he thought she was falling out of the plane, and then by stopping the wind, he would allow her to fly along. It keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. I believe, does it come up later, or did they already go to it? They say that essentially her mom was holding a rake when Hal saw her.
Yes.
Or does that come later?
I think that comes later.
Okay, all right, great. They get to an even more insane leap of faith in trying to read Hal's mind about why he did this.
Yes. And Hal, as we know, they keep referring to Hal as stupid. Hal is brainless.
Yeah.
But, so the polling, it comes up here, right? After she does her shtick and no one can follow her. CNN continued to promote the poll, and the numbers rapidly climbed. We have 368,000 votes from the United States, 76% in favor of Hartley going alone. No surprise there. They trust one of their own. Well, I mean, is that true in polling? One of our own? 49 to 51% is pretty normal. Right. In Europe, we have most of the Western European leaning towards a committee, with the interesting exception of Italy going for Hartley. The East European countries, formerly dominated by the Soviet Union, want Hartley, while Russia leans toward a committee. This is all so the polling, so there's that guy standing at the thing. We have an amazing thing happening here. Yeah. Go ahead, Jerry. What's happening? In Russia, they favor a committee, but are sort of interested in. Yeah, and we'll see where this shakes out, because we don't know when the polls close. It could be 4 a.m. because the globe is a large place with a lot of different time zones. So who knows?
I'll update this in 5 minutes. Actually, I have just heard the riots are outside the studio, and they will be tarring and feathering me as they've done in the streets for the past 24 hours. So this is my last update.
Just a side note, they've slaughtered all the turkeys in the United States of America. A huge undertaking. I guess there were billions of them? Who knew that? I did not know that. My kids love turkey. That's right.
Loved. They loved it. Yes. Immortan Joe has assumed power in Ukraine. Did not expect to see him. Thought he was a fictional construct of the Mad Max universe. But no, he has taken control of the water supply. Back to Theresa. You mentioned that CNN was airing it. He set up a Another thing that made me legitimately laugh when she's back in her hotel. I changed to the biggest international media circus of all, CNN. Just another grandpa rant.
Like the VFW howls, man. You're damn right. Let me get this guy a beer.
She says, there's a new world order coming into the world that would bring a new response. All power-hungry groups would combine their efforts to either bring me under their control or kill me. It was madness, but terrorists were not known for their rationality. A big leap there. But she does mention that there are thousands of assassins out there. I think that was in like the first page of the book. So
yes.
She feels like the girl in the Hunger Games, she says. So another sort of Dan Brownism. Just tell us what you're ripping off. Harrison Ford in tweed is what Robert Langdon looks like. So just give it to us.
She says, though, so I don't know, does she, well, we'll see where the polling goes. I don't know if she's going to go it alone or whether she's going to have a committee. It's rough in the big leagues. This is Empress. I didn't do anything and people want me dead. It's wrong. Why do people do the wrong thing? I don't know, man. Maybe one of your professors has the answer to that. That's why you pay $90,000 a year to go to that place. I mean, surely he's going to know.
Talk about a Socratic dialogue. Well, how do you define the wrong thing? I thought for a full 3 minutes.
What is wrong? Wow. Okay.
The chapter ends with something I was just stunned. People did not submit for real or fanfic, but Blair says, in his book on war, the eminent authority Karl von Clausewitz said there are two kinds of courage: the courage to face danger and the courage to assume responsibility. You demonstrate both. Not really sure how that's happened. All she did was survive a shark attack, then go shopping. I smiled and joked. If I pull off this job, call me Bond. Jane Bond. Blair picked up on that.
Wait. Now we know we've given this away, but I was going to give you this and see if you could guess.
Got it.
So just pretend you don't know. And everyone listening, pretend you don't know. And I will just read it. And you tell me what theme I'm doing. You know, it's like when you ever played the game, you have to be really bored. You're on a bus or something. I'll tap my pencil on this rail and you guess what tune I'm doing. Here we go. Tum tum da rum tum ta da dum ta ta da 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 dum ta rum ta da da dum de dum. That is, of course, the Bond theme, as written down.
I thought that was
again. Pull up his picture and look at him as you try to figure out the Bond theme as written by this guy.
Someone wrote in and said, Anne said, the author did that using text to speech, didn't he? Was her comment. I thought it was Eiffel Tower, Eiffel 65, blue tum ta ri da ba bai, abadiba tum da ra.
Oh yeah.
No, I was damn. James Bond. Tum tum da rum tum ta da dum ta ta da 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 dum ta ta.
I tried to do it. I can't do it. Tum tum da rum dum ta dum dum ta da 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 dum ta rum ta
da da dum dum dum.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
I immortalized Blair with a simple remark that would be carved in granite all over England. You did a good job, Mr. Blair. Yeah, I hope they chiseled that right over the we will fight them on the beaches. All those. That seems right up there with the great lines in English history.
Yeah. Wow.
End of that chapter. Lana, do some real or fanfic before we keep going?
Okay.
Fanfic.
Fanfic or real. This is, of course, then real or fanfic, the beloved segment on the podcast where you, the jackals, the Patreon supporters of our podcast, try to trick Mike And by submitting some segments of the book from either later in Empress, Theresa, or fanfic you have crafted ourselves. That's at patreon.com/372 pages. We just booked our next guest for 280 Mysteries.
Yeah,
and
very
an exciting one.
Yeah.
A true comedy legend. That'll be in a couple weeks because of all the Mystery Science Theater, as aforementioned. But I'm excited about it.
It is very exciting. We rarely, like a comedy legend. We've had big stars, celebrities, but rarely a legend. So that'll be fun.
So yeah, stay tuned for that over on the Patreon. And let's do these segments. There could be all real, all fanfic, or a combination of the two. We're going to read 5. Number 1. On top of the stupid article, with Steve away for the 3rd day, I suppose I was acting a little grumpy. Prime Minister Blair had sensed my stress and was prepared with a diversion. That night, he escorted me to a performance of Pygmalion at the Adelphi Theatre in London's West End Theatre District. My dad had shown me the movie My Fair Lady when I was a little girl. I wanted to be Eliza Doolittle, or at least I wanted to be Audrey Hepburn. That had been several years earlier. I had forgotten some of the details of the story. I had certainly forgotten that the movie was based on the older play Pygmalion. Pygmalion? While I missed the musical numbers from the movie, I still enjoyed the live performance. Afterwards, as we all stood applauding and the actors took their bows, I was lost in the thought that I had slipped into the role of Eliza Doolittle. Here I was, a young woman from the American suburbs with my American accent and American ideas about democracy, class, fashion, movies, and music. I had been thrust into this world of royalty and world politics, of mansions and servants, of social events and the television appearances. I was wearing a beautiful evening dress and sitting next to the Prime Minister of England in a luxurious theatre in the most posh section of London. Later, we would ride in a limousine back to the castle-like estate which I called Holmes for several weeks now. What was I becoming? Was that snippy woman in the Times right about me? The answer was obvious. Despite it all, I was still just plain old Theresa, daughter of Edward and Elizabeth Sullivan, wife of Steve Hartley, a normal, good-hearted American girl.
Oh, wow. I've been so bad at this, but I'm going to say fanfic.
Okay.
Audrey Hepburn, there was a movie on today. He should have reached back to someone like Clara Bow, like...
Herbert Beerbaum Tree.
My dad had shown me that. Your dad? How old is your dad?
Right. Your dad had a Farrah Fawcett poster on his dorm room. Maybe. I don't know. Number 2. I've seen the world's reaction to what I did. Parents are going wild because their children won't die. Everyone is grateful. Believe me, I am aware of all this and I am happy about it. Let's not talk about it. Like everybody else, I've watched a lot of television. Everybody you see on television is there because they wanted to be. Movie stars, singers, dancers, politicians, reporters, they all wanted to get on television. They want the attention. I don't. Why are you here? Somebody asked. I could single him out because he had stood up when he said that. I suppose it was a house rule. I stared at him with no attempt to hide my contempt. How dare he interrupt me? In answer to his own question, why had he spoken if not to attract attention to himself? This hypocrisy had become plain to everyone as I stared his political career into oblivion. You interrupted me, I said. Nobody interrupts me. I don't need you. You could almost see this miserable man's political career melting down to his feet. He had dared to interrupt the world saver. There would be rioting in his hometown.
Wow. Oh, see, these are tough. Because that could be one of his gripes, right? I hate when people interrupt me. I was telling a story about my toenail fungus, and all of a sudden this whippersnapper starts in with his stuff. I don't know. I have to say it's fanfic, though.
Okay. Number 3. I went up to Edmund Parker to shake his hand. Goodbye, Mr. Parker. Thanks for everything. Farewell, my dear. You will write? I will. Steve shook Parker's hand, too. I went on to Mrs. Parker. Thank you for the use of your lovely home. You made it a true palace, Theresa. Next was the 17-year-old son, John, and 13-year-old Stephanie, who could barely keep her eyes dry, and 11-year-old Jennifer, who was crying like she was losing everything she valued. Most painful of all was saying goodbye to Arthur, who was standing a respectful 10 feet away. I walked up to him and shook my head side to side with a teary smile. I'll miss you most of all, Arthur. I wrapped my arms around his neck in a tight hug. The normally imperturbable man came close to losing control. He could say nothing. I walked away quickly. The Parkers and Arthur were left in mournful silence. Empress Theresa, the humble world saver and conqueror, the right hand of God, was no longer in their lives.
Wow. Well, no word from the one son who was away at the war, right? Wasn't there one? An older son who was in the army or something?
Okay, yep.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not there to represent himself or to leak fluid from his eyes.
Fluid from his eyes, yeah.
I don't know. Fanfic.
Okay. And number 4. Theresa, this is Shelley Daniels. She is the dresser for the Queen. She is here to assist in getting you ready for your announcement to the whole world. Shelley bowed her head and smiled. I asked, "What's the matter? Think I can't dress myself?" "Kidding." Shelley led me into a room that was really just a big closet. There were dresses along one wall of every color. There were stacks of hat boxes that had hats of every shape and color imaginable. There were drawers full of undergarments like nylon, socks, underwear, slips, and negligees. Steve would love this. Shelley also had a whole team of assistants. Tina took my measurements, 36, 24, 36. Tina smiled and said I had the classic figure. I just had to roll my eyes. John was in charge of accessories. He showed me all sorts of jewelry. I settled on a simple gold necklace with a single diamond pendant and a matching set of emerald earrings. 4 hours and what felt like a million hands on my body later, I was wearing an A-line green chiffon dress that came to my mid-calf and hugged my hips. I looked good.
All right. I mean, that's in keeping with Grandpa, but I'm going to have to say it's fanfic.
Okay. And the last one, number 5. One of the perks of visiting Disney World was that my security team could hide in plain sight dressed as Disney characters. How many people could say that Mickey would take a bullet for them? Steve and I got to pretend we were all by ourselves on vacation like regular people. Well, almost like regular people. Security was afraid that I'd be an easy target standing around in lines and arranged for us to skip them. I felt bad for everyone waiting in the hot Florida sun, but how many of them had saved the world? Self-absorbed Hollywood bigwigs used their fortunes to buy special treatment so they could feel better than everyone. At least I'd earned it. We walked around for a little while, recognizing all of the famous sights. "Steve, look, it's the teacups. Let's go on the teacups." I grabbed his hand and pulled him over to the ride before he could protest. He thought we were too old for this. I told him he was being silly and we should enjoy ourselves while we can. The ride attendant held the door of the teacup for us. "Step right up, Mr. and Mrs. Hartley." We stepped into a ride. Then I heard a loud sniffle behind us. I looked back at the line. A small girl holding an Alice in Wonderland doll was looking at us with tears in her eyes. "But, Mommy, I thought we were next." "That's Mrs. Theresa, sweetie. She saved us. Let's be nice and let her go ahead."
So she does save them? Look, I have to say that's fanfic, so maybe she doesn't save them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, these went in different directions, so we'll have to see which ones are real and which ones are not. Number one was going to see My Fair Lady with the Prime Minister. You said fanfic, and that was fanfic written by Chap.
Nice.
Number 2 was him ruining a politician's career because he interrupted her. There would be riots in his hometown. You said fanfic for that, but that's real from later. That was also submitted by Chap. So it sounds like she takes a little bit of a villainous turn, or at least loses her temper. So we've got that to look forward to. Number 3 was saying goodbye to all the people, and I'll miss you most of all, Arthur, like the Scarecrow, calling herself the humble world saver and conqueror, the right hand of God. You said fanfic for that, but that is real.
Oh, come
from
on.
Later in the book, submitted by Gordon. So getting a little, a bit of a complex, it seems, later in the book, which, I mean, I find delightful.
I'll miss you.
It is
most
called
of
Empress.
all.
Yeah. Gordon added in saying a reference for the kids when he said that.
Yeah.
But 4 was Shelley Daniels dressing her and taking her measurements, 36, 24, 36. You said fanfic for that. And that was fanfic submitted by Hayden. So you are, 2 for 4 so far.
2 for 4, yeah.
Let's see if you can bump it up. And the last one was going to Disney World, riding the teacups, cutting in line in front of a little girl. You said fanfic. And that was fanfic written by the other Katie. So not bad. 3 for 5. 60%.
Doesn't bring my average up.
But it's exciting to see that it's going in some crazy directions. So
that is good. I mean, when has that ever gone wrong when you give someone? But there hasn't been any power. What does she do? I mean, I guess stopping the wind is a power, but it's just so bizarre.
It's not her power. It's the other guy's. It's Hal's power.
It's the fox's power.
Right. She's learning to harness it. And maybe in this chapter is where she starts doing that.
She's the syrup and it's the pancake. What is the... All right.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8 lives in my... This is one of the worst chapters ever done in all of history. It is so long and so stupid and so pointless, and I resent it deeply. So let's go with Chapter 8.
I'm trying to remember if this is the one that happens at the... what? All right. So this is where she's going to move in with that family. We'll get to that. Yeah. How does it start? She is worried that there's going to be thousands of assassins trying to stake out the hotel for a chance to get me. Mm-hmm. So she feels tired and goes to bed. So the chilling possibility of assassins doesn't seem to really bother her, as neither does the death of the earth. So,
and then I mean, occasionally this rears its head, so we have to raise this. This guy has a weird. Again, his theology is strange, but she prays like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, which is very, I mean, some might say a little bit blasphemous. I don't know. Almost the identical prayer is what she says. Really? Yes.
Where does that? Got it. I see it. I looked up in heaven and prayed.
Our Father, in heaven, take this away from me. But if you don't want to take it away, at least help me get through it. Like, changed a couple of words there, but it's like, that's sort of a central thing. You don't just throw it in like some crappy book.
Yeah, you certainly don't add in pancake syrup analogies, which I found quite off-putting to the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the blasphemy there. And then she says, so she's napping or whatever, but she turns on the TV. There's a lot of watching other media. Like, I can't keep straight. What, now we're watching this? Someone's not here. But she says, all the media people on all channels were talking exclusively about me. Okay. I mean, to put it in perspective, about 20 years ago, that was true of Tila Tequila, too. So it's not really... not really like Snooki or so, like...
Yes, right, yeah.
So great. You've conquered that world.
Yeah, I also like that she's keeping track of this. She's being like, all right, like Leno talked about me in his monologue for the third night in a row. This is great. He's got his impression of me down.
Yeah, it's very odd. Have you ever met someone like that who was like, yeah, I just hang on. I'm, my social media feed, I got a lot of likes on this. Like, really? Is that a thing that matters? I guess it does. I don't know.
To her, but she would denounce that while also monitoring it, being like, these people with their heads down in their phones. Yeah, they weren't paying attention to the fact that I led, Crossfire with Jim Cramer for the fourth night in a row. She gets word that Steve is coming, flying over, and she says, could he forgive me for not telling him about Hal? Would he be mad? Could he forgive? Was he coming to London with divorce papers for me to sign? And obviously that would be the greatest moment in podcast history if that's what Steve did. Just came off, handed her the divorce papers, answered every question she had just by saying, lawyer. And they got right back on the plane and went back to college. That would rival the Mopex slapping the teenage boy in terms of the greatest moments we've ever had.
That would be wonderful. But I do like that. So they're monitoring his thing. There's a bunch about this I don't get. But she said the whole world had stopped what it was doing. Why? To avoid creating news that might interrupt my story. What? Yeah. The whole world stopped? So, like, people, like, I should open my my phone shop here. I do phone repairs. I replace screens. No. Stop.
Yeah. Or
that might interrupt the story of Theresa, that 18-year-old hat buyer over in the UK. Yes. Right. Like, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I have to feed my family.
Sure. Al-Qaeda is like, well, this provides some openings. We could probably blow some stuff up while everyone's distracted. No. That would bump Theresa off the front page. You got to settle down.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, it's he also he does a specific thing about someone had estimated a reasonable number of they have a doomsday clock for food. Someone estimated there was 800 million tons and starts counting down, and the number drops 40 tons a second. We had 228 days to go. Thanks for reminding me. But again, thanks for reminding you, as everyone else is like, we're good. We're not, going to be storming the food bank and so I can feed my family. We're just, we don't want a bumper news story.
Veronica Stinson, by the way, does a press conference. Mm-hmm. During which she references Napoleon, Lenin, Hitler, and Senator McCarthy. I'll leave it to the listener to figure out what those four people have in common. But then her comment on it didn't rival the Gettysburg Address. Oh, yeah, you're right there. President Stinson was no Lincoln. Oh, thank you for reminding me who wrote the Gettysburg.
Who did the Gettysburg Address? Was that Senator McCarthy or was that Hitler? That's just who you mentioned. I can't remember. That's
no Lincoln, no Jerry Lincoln who wrote.
I did like that. Yeah, that she's been hanging out with the prime minister, and then the new president who took over the other one who tried to kill her resigned in disgrace, and this is all she can do is throw some shade. She doesn't even try to get her on the line, and I'm here to help out whenever needed. Like, maybe I should come back home. Why am I still in England, for God's sake?
But it said what was needed. That's what she says. So Steve, can I ask you a question? I have no idea what this means. Steve is headed. They're watching him come from Logan Airport, right, to London.
Yeah, they've got a plane tracker, like when Shohei Ohtani, they thought he was flying to Toronto to sign with the Blue Jays, and they're like, his plane's going to land.
The television showed Steve, I love the passive language, arriving at Logan Airport for a flight to London. He had trouble getting one. Everybody wanted to fly home to wait for Armageddon. I thought the world had stopped to avoid pushing her off the news, but whatever. Everyone is flying home because Armageddon is coming. Then he had the bright idea of giving them his name first and then asking for a flight. A limousine was sent to him in 90 minutes. What? He didn't have to give his name for the flight before that? He was able to fly anonymously. And then he had the bright idea? So he's at the counter and there's families behind him and they're going, sir, I just need your name and then we can book a flight. I probably will need some piece of identification. We are in the era of you need enhanced ID for this.
Yeah, pretty
not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Well, then you can't fly. That's just the rule. We can have an agent come over. You can go into the back room and prove who you are. But, oh, wait a minute. Steve Hartley.
He did do you know who I am? And they were like, no. But now that you told me your name, I can get you on a flight. It's a key piece of information.
Giving them his name first? Don't we all have to give our name to go on a flight? What are you talking about?
I would also like to just call attention to how the Chapter 6 ended. Highways were deserted. Plane flights were canceled for lack of passengers. So, but now everyone is wanting to fly home. So
the world had stopped, except for people who are
flying home. So yeah, Steve is, I guess, the kind of name that you drop at like you would Snooki or something, and the entire world knows who you are at this point in time. They could have given him a cooler name, I guess. Probably that would have been nice. But, Steve, no, she's still talking to Blair. Blair says, the promise of changing yourself from nobody to somebody is irresistible to terrorists and to cults of all kinds. It draws in the alienated and the disaffected. Theresa says, I won't try to set up a religious movement if that's what you mean. Though now that I say it out loud, I do have a pretty captive audience. Worshipful, some might say.
I want you to, I'm going to tell you something that she says to the Prime Minister and get your reaction, see if it's anything. Just a turnaround of what you did to me earlier. You ready? Atomic nuclei never get close enough to feel each other's gravity. If an atom was the size of the United States, the nucleus would be a baseball in Kansas where Dorothy lived. Your reaction to that?
Are you making a Wizard,
He laughed.
Wizard of Oz reference? Okay. I'm going to laugh in a second. I just want to clarify that you meant Dorothy from the 1932 movie. Okay, just checking. That's You have seen that. Interesting, as an 18-year-old college. Okay, just making sure.
My dad brought me to that movie after we were done watching Audrey Hepburn movies from 1948.
I mean, they're still quoting that in Avatar, so I guess it has some staying power.
That's true. Thousands of years in the future. But he laughed at that? I don't understand what is funny about that in any way.
Hey, Ready Player One humor. All you have to do is mention something that someone's heard of, and that counts as a joke, I think. Like,
so what she's saying is that it can't be dark matter because the particles don't hold together or something? DNA is held together by hydrogen bonds? Something. And this was Steve was chatting with some physics majors, right?
Yeah, Steve is a physics major and apparently a dark matter expert, which is quite convenient later. But I think she's maybe telling the Prime Minister what Steve is telling her, type of thing.
Yeah,
he does a very, very similar, very bad way of explaining the like the pancake analogy later with the dark matter. So I think it's best if you just, as a listener or reader, imagine dark matter as it would have been portrayed in Plan 9 from Outer Space or War of the Worlds, would be like, oh, sure, that stuff, the stuff that can just do whatever it needs to in this science fiction context.
So Steve, like, he sort of, water cooler talk with some physics majors. Steve was talking with some physics majors, right? So not like Steve, like, sent emails and like, hey, I got a ton of questions, just let's tick these off. He was just like, hey, guys, what's going on? Yeah, she's the Empress of Theresa. I don't know. I'm hanging out with her, whatever. Banged her, And then it says later, Steve changed his story a little. He said changed his story. I thought he was just like hanging out with some. He was just chatting up some physics majors, like, after class talk. Like, well, I got to run. I've got to play ping pong. I have a Phi Ed class I have to pass. I'm going to take bowling. All right, check it out. I'll see you guys later, man.
Right. Steve has been in college for 3 months, so intro courses, maybe he got some AP credits, so it's a little further along, but like he's not like you could have made this as a PhD. You could have still got married at 25. It would have been a very easy change to make, but instead, yeah, he's just some dumbass who's still getting all his obligations out of the way in terms of phys ed credits. She compares dark matter, or HAL, to a train with a locomotive in the rear, a 50-pound desktop computer, and a baseball in Kansas. He's also been pancakes and syrup and a rock. So just to track all the various ways he's using to make this clearer to us of what HAL is like. Oh, and a fox, obviously, with a white ball of light.
Yes.
And then she goes on to say, she's still talking to the president, or the prime minister. I don't think this is televised at this point in time. But she says, I wanted a quiet life. That was out of my reach. This is like the Caine Mutiny. Do you know that story? The prime minister says, yes, it's required reading for all leaders. So I wonder if she's like, oh, the book. Like, I watched the movie. Like, I haven't. If she lets on that she hasn't read the book and they can still talk about the story, but maybe there's some differences that will slip through. But the fact that it gets brought up again was stunning to me. That is
amazing.
All caps, laugh out loud reaction.
I do not remember that. But then she's okay. Let's track her. She's 18 years old. Remember, She talks about Shakespeare. So okay, fine. We all Shakespeare. The Caine Mutiny. Mm-hmm. Okay, that might be a sign if someone brings that up and you're like 18. What is that? Like, you haven't seen the Caine Mutiny? No. Oh, you haven't read the book it's based on? No. All right. Well, hang on. Let's not miss another literary allegory. In Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, a man named Kurtz goes deep into the heart of Africa. 1878 for that book? I don't know. Maybe it's turn of the century. I'm not sure.
I think Blair is just taking the opportunity to drop in some books he's maybe read the cliff notes of to try to impress this person. Blair. Blair is trying to do that, not author Norman Boutin.
No.
She goes on to mention her high school boyfriend, Jeff. A high school boy, the only high school boy had the nerve to ask him out because I was so beautiful. Jeff Winslow.
Yeah.
She had mentioned him once before, but it had never been addressed until then. But she thought that it was because she was so beautiful, boys were afraid of being put down. Jeff would probably marry an average girl. But for the rest of his life, he would remember he had once dated a drop-dead gorgeous woman. So she thinks he peaked in high school by dating her. And that's just one of those things where, what point are you trying to make here, man? Old Norman Boutin at the VFW. Like, it's a very strange.
It is. I thought it was a disturbing window in like the author's rivalries with his high school guys.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
You know, like, you're probably going to marry an average girl. Like, I mean, you know, I'm in love with, she's the love of my life. We have 5 children, but yeah, you're going to remember that I used to, like, dude, I don't even know who you are. What?
Yeah. So you think it's like if a jock shoved him in a locker and then went on to like bang the head cheerleader, like that's Norman Boutin being like, well, that's the best his life's ever going to get. And I'm going to write Empress Theresa.
Yep. Now
Nice.
Here's my revenge with this book. And this guy's like, I literally don't know who you are.
Yeah, right. I'm happy. I run my own car dealership.
I'm like, fine. Yes.
No one insults me online in my Amazon reviews. How about this? Did this remind you of anything? In college, I heard talk of a girl who had 4 intimate boyfriends who knew about each other and what was going on. She ended up in a hospital on Guerrero Street.
Oh, Mark, what a story.
And then, okay, everybody get ready because Grandpa's been pretty well behaved, I think, other than the green dress, boobs and chest reveal. But a couple of other girls took a vacation in Barcelona, Spain. Not Barcelona, Iowa, where young studs waited for American girls at the airport. The girls had wild orgies where nobody knew them, and when they got back home, they could pass themselves off as virgins. Grandpa, put down the 7 and 7. You've got to stop talking. We're getting you back to the home. Please. Oh.
I didn't have steamy sex stories about myself like many of the girls. I mean, Grandpa, now's your chance, man. This is your book. You're writing it.
Yeah.
So he dipped a toe in, but then he's like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, well, I'm the good girl. I'm Mama's apple pie. But I guess this is you, in his VTuber persona. He's probably like a little Sailor Moon avatar, and that's what he can talk about. Oh, one time I went to Barcelona, Spain on spring break. We won't get into that. Tee. Incredible.
Yeah, we busted that old guy. He was reselling some of his pills at the old folks' home, and then during that we took his hard drive. Oh boy! Is there prosecutable stuff? Oh yeah, but that's not what we were looking for.
But this is one of those things where it's like, what is the source of this? It's not even like an urban legend like the hook on the car door handle or anything like that. It's just sort of like, well, what does this even come from? Is this what they're talking about at the Moose Lodge? Like, boy, oh boy.
What is the thing? I did not get when they got home, they could pass themselves off as virgins?
Right. I mean, there's probably not a lot of passing it off. I took a high school trip to Spain. When I got back home, I didn't have to make didn't have any orgies. No, no one was asking me that. It was not on the top 100 things that came up. So it wasn't really, you didn't have to bring it up, then deny it. Grandpa, please
stop it. All right. So plot-wise now, by the way, neither of them had a very big circle of friends in college.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you were in college for like a month, right?
Sure.
You're 18 now. You took most of your college off for your wedding, but anyway.
Yeah, you were still going to meet the people that you ditch after that first month when you met the real friends you're going to have for the rest of college.
So they head to the house of, who are they?
The Parkers.
The Parkers.
Edmund Parker. I didn't write down who he was because I assumed it was not important. But they have a wealthy family who has a vast manor where they can go and hide out for some reason. I guess she was still in her hotel at this point in time.
Oh yes, the palace. It was a Tudor palace. So they go up to it. She's like, "Oh wow, I've never seen a castle like this." And then she says, "To the sides and rear of the house was a forest where thousands of British soldiers were moving in." So she's just like this. Do 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 do. Grieg is playing. The sun is breaking over. She's pulling up. You hear the gravel on the tires. Oh, the staff is out front. Hello. Thousands of British soldiers moving into the forest.
Hey, people knock the Third Amendment, but you don't want to quarter people. You'll be glad you got it when the King of England starts sending his people into your forest.
Wow, that was stunning to me.
I guess they're there to protect her. That sort of is what they're implying here.
We're assuming, but also recognizing thousands. I immediately thought of, to go back to Shakespeare, of Birnam Wood and the soldiers coming to Dunsinane, from Birnam Wood with their. But also that she could recognize thousands of British soldiers in the forest behind the. So they're not. None of them are wearing ghillie suits, I'm assuming. She could just go like, yeah, thousands.
Be a concerning image. Yeah. What are people trying to do to me if this is the case? I have another Macbeth reference for you. How about this?
Oh yeah.
Steve says, she says to Steve, "How are my parents? Your mother is having a rough time. First you were dead, then you were invaded by an alien, then they said you fell out of the plane, then they said you were screaming in the water, and then they found you in the water and declared you dead again. Then you came to life. Now it's your job to save the world. 'Twas a rough night."
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, the production I just saw at the Guthrie, they cut that line. Because they couldn't, I'm assuming they couldn't not get a laugh on it, so they cut it. Cowards.
I will be fully transparent here and say that the only reason I know about that line is because you told me that already.
Yes. I know.
Which is why I wasn't able to bring it up here.
But isn't that interesting that they cut it at the Guthrie? They knew they couldn't. You can't have that speech and then have him go, "'Twas a rough night," without getting a laugh. Right?
It's such a. But that's just like, okay, people laughed. Does that ruin your production? Like, plenty of things have laugh lines in them.
It shouldn't. I thought it was a fun exercise to try to say it in a way that didn't get a laugh, but it never happened.
Sure.
You can't do
it. Scotland Yard is going to start screening her packages for, anthrax and bombs, essentially, because they know that there's threats on her life. Her reaction to this is, this visit could have been an email to Scotland Yard driving out to the country. And they start bringing her mail, and Steve starts opening it and going through it. And this is where Steve sort of he's got that sort of Kevin Federline, like loser husband air about him, because he's like, "Hey, someone sent us a check for $50. Pretty sweet." It's like, you're being compared to a god. Like, billions of people are hanging on your every word, and you're like, "Oh, sweet beer money." You're not like, "Oh, this is embarrassing. People need this money to this is a loaf of bread now costs $50." Like, but Steve is into it.
Yeah. So they're holed up here with the Parker family, and she says she sees them. They're walking around. They're like, "Wow, what a great place that we get to stay here." The Edmund Parker family could be seen. Again, the passive language, could be seen sitting quietly in a huge living room. They looked like they'd wait there weeks for us. Is this one of Hal's talents? The ability to look at someone and tell how long they might wait for you? Things become static at a certain point. That doesn't mean they will always be there. Their object permanence it doesn't mean that things... Human beings have agency. They can move to another place. They look like they'd wait there weeks for us? Did they have like cases of water next to them and like a portable toilet?
Yeah, or
why
like
did they look like
they're
that?
shackled to, like in Saw. Like, that might help them if they were going to be waiting
That's
there.
true. They look like they'd wait weeks for us. They'd be dead by then, but
Yeah, so the Edmund Parker and the people are sort of like, we'll stay out of your way. She says goodbye to them later when she makes yet another Wizard of Oz reference. But right now they are sort of peripheral, although she does dart off to do some female bonding with Helen Parker, which I was so dismayed that Grandpa did not elaborate on what he thinks that might consist of.
Yeah, that was amazing too. But the here's a disgusting thing that she does. I would be like, I don't care if you're the Empress of the world, if you have all power, which you have demonstrated none of except for stopping the wind. She asks, they're at the dinner table with the Edmund Parker family. When did you sleep last? I asked. Saturday, I think. I pointed a finger to the ceiling. Off to bed with you, young man. Steve went upstairs. The Edmund Parker family just going, what in God's name was that? Yeah, oh my God. How long did you agree to this for? Like, I didn't agree to anything. The Prime Minister called me, he told me that this woman was coming. Because that was, I know.
We cannot have this. Yes. I will take the water riots over this, over another one of our meals at our table having done this.
Arthur just butchered all our horses. Look, I know.
Now Steve is opening envelopes and being like, they sent me $20. Like, what does he? He
has a puka shell necklace. I know. I don't love this any more than you do.
Wait, hang on. What's that? He's listening to 311 up there. Oh my God. He brought a 311 CD with him. That's because that was not in our house unless you hid it behind the toilet or something.
Maybe
when he goes down for tax fraud, we are not going down with him.
Oh, I found that just revolting.
Yeah. That's a little glimpse at their relationship. Yeah.
God.
We get a little glimpse into their. Steve keeps opening money. It says the Hartley family financial situation had taken a new turn. So I think they've gotten thousands of dollars in the mail. But it says we settled into a routine. 3 hours was about all I could take doing the intense work I was doing. So after working from 8 to 11 in the morning, I'd take a walk around the estate with Steve. Then it was lunch. Then work from 1 to 4 in the afternoon and a couple hours of reading or television before dinner. So that doomsday clock is ticking down, and she's like, oh, wow, busted my hump. All right, let's walk along my palatial estate and then just do some TV before dinner.
That's at the point where I'm reading this book going like, what is happening here? What is the point this author is trying to make? He's just like hanging out with a family, and they're both like, oh, they're repulsive people, right? The husband, the wife, the Empress. I guess she will be Empress. Saint Theresa, they call her at one point.
They've called her, yep.
My God.
So have you ever had a roommate or a buddy that was sort of in between jobs, and he'd come home or you'd come home and he'd be on the couch watching Match Game reruns or something, and you're like, oh, how's the job hunt going? Yeah, I don't know. Everyone out there's an idiot type of thing. It's the same thing with this, except it's how's the saving the world going? And being like, what? She turns up the volume on Charles Nelson Riley on Match Game to drown it out. Okay, I guess she doesn't want us to bother her.
Yeah, could you imagine the Mrs. Parker, banging the vacuum cleaner against the door? At, it's
Steve
11
just lifts his
a.m.
legs up.
Yeah. Are we, do we have any plans for today? Or is this what we are doing? I ain't going nowhere, babe. What do you got going on?
Steve's like, yeah, I noticed you got a filter on your router that's blocking a few websites I'm trying to check out. I wonder if we can maybe get that switched off 9 to midnight, because that's usually Steve's time.
I put some split tunneling on your router. I hope you don't mind. Oh, well, Arthur usually handles that, but...
Brother, what else? It doesn't get in. Yeah, they do call her Saint Theresa, and it doesn't get into her actual training. I don't really have any other notes about this section. She shouts out Abe Lincoln again.
Yes, exactly. Who wrote the? What did he write? Oh, the Gettysburg Address. That's right. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, and then he starts getting into proverbs and stuff.
Okay.
By patience, a ruler is persuaded, and a soft tongue will break a bone. And he just keeps weaving it in. But like, why is this 18-year-old? I don't know.
Yeah. I did like this part. The world worried about my character. Pundits said nobody with the power I was on the road to acquiring could remain humble. I would go mad with self-importance and fame. I would blackmail the world into doing what I wanted. I would become a power-mad dictator. Others thought there was no reason to think I would behave that way. Oh, okay. Both sides make great points there.
But then so the PM stands up at the end, right? In front of, who is he doing this to?
I think he addresses the House of Commons or whatever.
And they're all like, why would we let her? And he's like, no, she's great. She's never shown any. I mean, you hate to say it, but come on, man. It is like when they, when Hitler was given power. Why would he ever? Come on, we need someone, a firm hand to bring us back. We were screwed in World War I. We need this guy. Well,
what about the boo?
I guess so. Why would he ever become a bad guy? Come on.
The onion point counterpoint, like, this will set off a tumultuous war in the Middle East that will remain unending and be a complete debacle, versus, no, it won't. All right, point counterpoint.
So yeah, he does a weird sermon at the end, and they're like, all right, a woman who puts her trust in a higher power will be unchanged. Theresa will remain Theresa. That's the end of the thing.
End of the chapter?
Yeah, and apparently, I guess they all vote, right? Do they have to vote for her to be Empress or something? I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I mean, as of this moment, all they've really done is move her out to the people's estate and sort of give her carte blanche to work on stuff. Maybe they're giving her a small per diem for the groceries and stuff, and I guess employing thousands of soldiers in the woods isn't free, but that's really all they've done.
Steve's like, I don't know what a per diem is, but it's pretty great,
Yeah.
Just give you some money. It's not much, but it all adds up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Steve's being like, I got to get a VPN in here so I can make my parlays. This is nuts. I got all this money. It's burning a hole in my pocket. Chapter 9.
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9 is her trying to get Hal to develop new reflexes so that she can then control him. She says she's confident she'll be able to do this because animal trainers do this all the time. Somebody had once taught a rhinoceros to walk on a tightrope. There seems to be no evidence of that happening.
I was going to say, I mean, I know people electrocute elephants, but do they?
Yeah. One of the first results is a Reddit post from 14 years ago, which I think is just a year or two too late to have been what he saw that made him think this was happening. But it's someone says a miniature tightrope walking rhino, and it's just a perspective shot that makes a rhino look like he's standing on a fence.
Nice.
Which would be delightful if that's what this guy saw and thought it was real. But I think it might be just an expression.
So what she's trying to do is train the pancake. She's the syrup. He's a what? He's a TV.
He's a rock.
Or
a rake. Your mom hold a rake.
A rake that goes up. I tossed a coin in a small metal can a few feet away. Keeping my eye on the can's opening got the coin inside the can every time. Then I'd toss a coin with my eyes shut. I mean, stupid human tricks, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, all right, what can you do? You're from Indiana. I'm from Indiana as well. What can you do for us? I can close my eyes and toss a coin into a can. Okay, all right.
Drum roll, Paul.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. My mom can do that. Oh, Paul, you're crazy. All right, there we go. Coin in the can.
Training Hal.
Yes, sir.
That's what she does. She's doing very basic YouTube reel stunts here, where she's trying to get a coin into a trash can, dropping a coin. I think she's throwing a coin into a trash can. She's doing a different one where she drops the coin into the trash can, and then she attaches a ruler to a piece of string that holds a yardstick on the other thing and is trying to make the ruler rotate or something like this. So this is what she's doing as the world's food supply is spoiling. Fields are running fallow. Dust is just enveloping entire crop fields. But this is what she thinks she needs to do in order to train Hal to then get him to, I guess, revoke his no wind policy.
And I assume, at the same time, like you said, like oppressed people just being slaughtered by the thousands. Like,
Sure, right. Right, with no signal from Theresa, we're going to go through with our plan until they tell us not to. Yeah. Right, scapegoats everywhere, just like bearing the brunt of this.
Yeah, all the animals are dead, but not all the human beings. You know what I'm saying?
There's a guy who's just got people with like neck shackles on who's leading them through a broken desert that used to be downtown Atlanta. And then it's like, oh, wait, Theresa threw a coin into a trash can? Oh, all free to go. Sorry about that misunderstanding. That's, my face is red. That's, wow. She made it.
You castrated me so I would fatten up quicker. Like, sorry about that, man. You're going to get that.
Yeah. 'Twas a rough night, you know what I mean, Macbeth, huh?
Yeah, the coin hit the can, so you're free to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go send Steve some money now that I'm free from this neck shackle. That's my top priority. Steve does say that there is they've been sent over $1 million as well. So I guess banks are still letting you remotely deposit a check via your phone type of thing. Like,
did that put you in mind of anything? People are sending larger checks. We already have $1 million.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Birdemic,
so we had,
of course.
We had Rod. Now we've got Birdemic.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve. I think Steve might have a little Rod in him.
Steve's very Rodish. Yes.
Sure. Steve, he goes out. Does he go out? I think he defends her by saying she's the sanest person I know. I'm not really sure how you measure that, but there you go.
And he answered, people wouldn't like her. She's too perfect. The people who heard this remark got the idea. Thousands of newspaper and magazine articles about me had failed to uncover a single flaw in my character. Again, just bring that picture of the author up and look at him. This is obviously what he thinks about himself.
Right. I mean, come on. There has to be one person that you bumped into the hallway that's like, I don't know, she'd really stink up the can. Like, print that. Like, so she's at it for 10 days. 10 days of coin tricks, ruler tricks, where then she gets mailed a poster of herself.
Yes.
Which seems to... I wore my famous Irish green outfit, copied by women all over the world. At this point, the full frontal image, interesting choice of words there, showed me calm and thoughtful. I appeared to be looking straight into the camera, although I never noticed it. It was a great photo. And Steve tapes this wall up on the bedroom wall. She says, so I'm a pinup girl now, I smiled. But now back to my coin tricks. I don't know what he's going for there. Like maybe Audrey Hepburn with the sunglasses from Breakfast at Tiffany's. I guess that was made up. That wasn't actually his thing, but it might as well be.
I'm a pinup girl, I smiled. They're spit roasting human beings in small country like Belgium. There's
Belgium turned quicker than we thought. Wow. Yes. It does say that. Right after I'm a pinup girl, the next paragraph is, word came over the airways that farmers' crops planted only a few weeks before had stopped growing. Plants that should have been a foot tall were only a few inches. Without rain soon, the crops would be a failure. But let me admire myself again.
Next sentence, though, by the way. Without rain, the crops would soon be a failure. On one of our walks around the property, we're literally just strolling around. Should we take the dogs out when we go? No, remember we killed the dogs and ate them last week. Right. Okay, grab your Mac. It could be a little rainy out there.
Yeah. Do not go out there without a gun because people are constantly trying to breach our barrier because this is one of the few places left that has a running water supply.
That's right.
But then this is going to sound like a joke because after all we've built up and what we've said, how much food there is left, how much water, the desperation, how much time Earth has left, she gets bored and decides she wants to go to Paris.
Unbelievable. And Paris is just... So Paris is not, circles of cars and empty dumpsters, which I assume it would be, right? At this point, everything is broken
Sure, 28
down.
days later.
Yes, there's no law. There's no anything. There are, people wearing, dog skin coats and, holding spears that they fashioned out of...
Purge masks.
Yes. But she's going to go to... They're going to go on vacation to Paris. And she just orders Blair around, right? Like, hey, I want to go to Paris. They're like, yes. I mean, thousands of soldiers will just will retreat, I guess. Who's feeding the soldiers? But anyway, I don't know. She goes to Paris, and Paris is just Paris. Like, people are, putting baguettes in little baskets and gliding down the streets on their bicycles and saying bonjour to one another, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot of traffic, but they go and see the Louvre, they see the Mona Lisa, they see Notre Dame, and she hates all of it.
Yes,
because Paris is overblown as hell, and this is another thing that has to have been a bad trip this guy took or something like that, because he is like one of those 1-star reviews of national parks being like, the toilet was out at Yosemite. They made me pay for the bathroom when I went to Yellowstone, 1 star, and this is all she has to say about Paris. It is incredible.
Her Reddit review of Notre Dame was nice. It was basically a pile of stones erected around 1200, and the huge pillars holding up the roof didn't leave much room for the people. Thumbs down.
The artwork was pre-Renaissance and rather unspectacular after our visit to the Louvre. It was disappointing. But in the Louvre, we'd expected a large painting, but it was only 30 inches tall. Furthermore, it was in a recess in the wall covered over by a light-absorbing darkened glass to protect it from flash cameras. It was not impressive. So, you got to settle down here.
That would be nice if she, by this time had the Empress power and was like, make the Mona Lisa bigger. Well, I mean, it kind of is what it is. It took him 12 years to make it. I don't care. I want it bigger. We'll get a person
and also,
that can do that.
If you show up and are surprised that the Mona Lisa isn't that big, then you are a grade A dumbass at this point in time, because that's a cliche by this point in time.
I thought it would cover a whole wall. No, you're thinking of that pointillist painting of Sunday in the Park with George. Now, I've been to Paris a few times, right? Have you been?
Mm-hmm.
You've been.
Oh, yeah.
You've been to France.
Yeah,
this is something I
never
thought of the whole time, and I wish I would have. It was only a tired old city. American cities offered as much. Oh,
sure, yeah. Gary, Indiana, it's similar. I don't know.
And then the next thought, which of course follows from there. I miss chipmunks, I said. That was me as I wandered around by the Champs-Elysees. Yes. I miss chipmunks, I said.
Right.
Is this what was this
World
his
view is
wish?
like?
I don't know. The author, I miss chipmunks? I don't know. It reminded me when I went to, years ago, I went to the airport to pick up my sister-in-law's friend was from Japan. She had never been to America before, and so she flew into Minneapolis. So my sister-in-law was like, would you pick her up? I'm like, sure. So I pick her up. She speaks a little English, not much, but we're driving out of the airport, and as we're going down the boulevard, there's squirrels in the trees. Absolutely delighted.
Oh, all right.
Was like, what are those? And the camera comes out, she's taking pictures. I was like, do you want me to pull over for this?
Want me to
There's
run
another
over one?
one.
It happens every other week or so.
Yeah, that's true. There's another squirrel.
Right.
So that maybe that's her. I miss chipmunks. That's it was a subtle tribute to her.
So you've been to Paris. I mean, I think that most people are pretty much just like a great place. You could go there 10 times and have a different experience every time. You see something that you've only seen in movies or replicas, and it's the Eiffel Tower. But even as a tourist thing, they light it up, and you're like, well, this is pretty damn special. Yeah, like, I'm glad I'm here. It's what kind of jaded soul could not appreciate this? I guess we found it, and it is 18-year-old Theresa and Steve who get there, and all they can think about is chipmunks. Not even the traditional thing of like, man, all this French coffee and baguettes. If I could just get a McDonald's burger and a Starbucks, I'd be happy now. But it's chipmunks. Chipmunks is what they want.
That's what they miss most of all. By the way, second reference. So if you're noting, second reference to Hitler. It's in the book a bunch though too. So don't get down. I believe Paris survived because Hitler went to, and he had the same experience. He was like, this place is a shithole. They're like, well, we're going to bomb it and build it up to be a Nazi paradise. He's like, don't bother. So that's the reason that Paris survives, is because Hitler was like, had a bad time in Paris. Wow, otherwise, they would have rebuilt it as in the new architecture. But he was like, sure, it's so crappy, don't even bother blowing it up and rebuilding it.
Wow. Well, we've got to keep an eye out to see if there's any more comparisons we might be able to draw here, because the fact that he's been mentioned a couple times and has a few more to come.
Der Fuhrer Mrs. Chipmunks. Like, okay, all right.
They go to a restaurant in Paris, and the snooty maitre d' won't sit them, and then they sort of don't get any service at their table, and so Steve does this like little hee-haw act type of thing, which I'm sure if you did not like go to bed, young man, you will not like. Don't worry, Myrtle, he said. I'm sure Uncle Homer is feeding the cows while we're gone. And so the Parisians are like, what the hell? But the Parisians are at this restaurant, too, by the way. So this is where some of that 800 million tons of food are going, is to this fancy restaurant. And then later...
He took off his dark glasses and floppy hat. Me, too, I said, and took off my dark glasses and let my hair down, shaking my head to make the famous mane spread out. Yelps of astonishment and excitement came from around the room that the secret was out.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, this is nighttime.
For sure.
So you have floppy hats and dark glasses on.
Steve is dressed like Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing, maybe. Like, that could be why you're not getting any service here.
And wigs. And then you object to the fact that this Parisian restaurant, why it's still full, and why aren't you... Are rationing tickets, I assume, in place already?
It has to be. Absolutely has to be.
They take them off and people are like, ooh.
Right. There's monocles falling into martini glasses, and matrons are fainting at the sight of these famous people. At the sight of Steve Hartley. His floppy hat is torn to shreds and reinvented as a holy relic. 1,000 years from now, people will claim to have a true piece of Steve's floppy hat.
Oh, that was... that was revolting. I don't have any more notes for chapter 9.
They go to Ireland to have a grand old time, though. They go to like a traditional Irish dance, and probably go to a Irish bar and talk about how her great grandmother was Irish. So everyone has a great time there. And
people in Ireland love that, by the way. When you come and go like my great grandmother, it's like okay, that doesn't do anything for me.
So, yeah, it makes me think that this guy had a bad time in Paris and then maybe went to Ireland on a tour group, and they were just, went to a bar and had some Guinnesses and had a grand old time. But
speaks highly of Aer Lingus, by the way, right? Well, the crowd was gawking at them as they took Aer Lingus. Nobody has a bad word to say about Aer Lingus.
Certainly not. At least you didn't get exploded by an atomic bomb on that flight. Who knows?
Yeah.
Last thing that happens in this chapter, that afternoon, a courier brought in 25 chipmunks in 10 cat transportation cages. They were released into an enclosure and immediately disappeared into the pile of logs. Pile of logs made ideal winter homes for chipmunks. Deep inside, they had a warm home for their winter. Someone in America had lots of good advice. So you have to imagine that these non-native things they say you can't find in Europe, the crops are having a rough time as it is. Now they've unleashed essentially the cane toads in Australia to decimate what's left of the European farming industries. And so, like, bravo, woman. Well done.
I read that part, thought of you. I'm assuming you have taken a transportation cage and probably not 25 chipmunks, but...
That's pushing the eccentricity to a different level. But yes, I have carried a chipmunk in a cage in my car, and this is also parody and satire. If you're ever listening to this, law enforcement, because I didn't. But yes, that I related to. I did not want the chipmunks, though. I wanted them gone. I did not want them brought here.
I think no further explanation is necessary. You have had parody, satire.
Chipmunks, and I transported it in the satirical situation to a location that was not my house, that was on public ground. So I guess I've done the exact same thing in this story. I can't talk. Me and Empress Theresa, we're not so different, you and I.
You had some good ideas.
Chapter 10, this is the last one. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Hal has started trying to duplicate her appearance by resembling a blob that she sees. A black blob.
I have been, I'll admit it, I've been shady on the what's going on, the physicality. I mean, the fact that they keep interrupting the quote unquote action with vacations to Dublin and Paris doesn't help matters, and that they hang out at a country estate like they're Churchill during the war and stuff. But what is happening now? She's closing her eyes, and then she sees in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't understand. She can fly outside of herself, kind of, if she falls back? Could you explain this? I don't understand what's going on.
So, obviously, this guy who has never written a book before is out over his skis, even attempting to do this in the first part. And this is something that maybe a competent director of sci-fi could convey what he's trying to go through here through the medium of moving images. Very difficult when you're not a good writer and trying to convey large subjects like dark matter intelligence bonding with you like syrup on a pancake. I think, however, I can sort of describe to you what is happening. Okay. The thing has sort of draped itself over her and is now inside of her. When she closes her eyes and opens them back up, she's able to see essentially Google Maps satellite images of the world. She can zoom in on various spots, spy on things, and she closes her eyes again, and I think that takes off that image. So I don't know if every time she blinks, which people do dozens of times a minute, if that's going to happen, or if she has to do like a intentional eye close type of thing. But that's what she has discovered she's able to do in this situation. That was my summary of it.
So the form is Hal?
The blob, yeah, the black blob.
Is a blob outside of her now?
She can see it, so I don't know if it's like an after image on her retina or if it's literally like hovering above her like Peter Pan's shadow.
Okay, she doesn't need a fox anymore. She's looking at, I don't understand. There's a black shape. And then I do not know what this means. So anyone reading, help me out. And I'm a bad reader. So it could be me. I imagined a 10-legged creature crawling around on another world. The only way it could get Hal to modify the view was by doing something with its front legs. What does that mean? What is happening? What am I supposed to be picturing? That's 10-legged creature. The only way I assume meaning the 10-legged creature, could get Hal to modify the view was by doing something with its front legs. What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. 10 legs is a curious choice. I don't know if that exists anywhere in nature. With its front legs, do you mean the first 4 legs, the first 2?
Does it have pedipalps, the things that aren't really legs? That I don't.
Did you mean its antenna too? To modify that? Unclear. Okay. Very unclear. Like I said, maybe in the hands of Christopher Nolan, you could convey something like this, a visual director. I'm not sure. Maybe.
But a lot of times you can figure out, I know what the person's trying to say.
Sure.
You know, we had
Could
it
they fall into a...
Yeah, in past books we had where the person just uses the wrong word, and you're like, oh, I think they meant this word. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this is.
That one was very serious, but very curious, because Hal has not been a creature other than a fox the entire time, let alone a 10-legged one.
So is that supposed to be Hal? But the only way it could get Hal, so there's two separate entities, a 10-legged creature and Hal. And Hal's modifying a view of the 10-legged creature was by doing something with its front legs. What is the something?
Well, so I realized that was incorrect, because when she doesn't blink to turn the view off, she puts her hands in front of her eyes.
Hands. And she has to fall back? That's another thing?
It's triggering a reflex of her escaping the plane before the bomb happened. She jumped out of the plane. She's falling. She puts her hands in front of her eyes. No word on whether she needs to have 12 Coke bottles strapped to herself to trigger this again, because Hal seems hung up on these reflexes. But I guess that's not part of the system.
And then she says this, which an animal might take months to learn all this. I'd figured it out in a few minutes. It's really not the brag you think it is. We've all tried to train an animal. It's not really,
Yeah, the rat could navigate the maze to get the cheese. It took a month to learn that. But hey, I could just look and be like, you got to go there, idiot.
I could do it. I just scooped it from the top and ate the cheese. Steve, come on, man. Whoa.
Yeah, Steve is still getting shocked. He's going to the wrong part of the maze. So I think she finally manages to get the coin into the glass, or gets Hal to get the coin into the glass, and they're proud. So Peter Blair calls an assembly at the House of Commons to give that announcement, which just, you have to imagine it was, Theresa threw a coin in a glass with her eyes closed, and he's immediately hit in the head by a thrown brick and deposed from power, because that's how he's wasted their time for the past 3 weeks.
By the way, after she successfully does the coin trick, Steve could not have been prouder if I'd won the Miss Universe contest.
I don't know.
Hang on to that, Steve. He sounds like a great guy. Babe, you did it, man. Could you put on a tiny bikini and high heels and kind of, talk about world peace? That'd be great, babe.
Steve's not even turning around, because he's got really into cricket betting while he's there, being like, yeah, that's great, babe. God damn it. So what's that? Coin in the bucket? Okay. All right. Yeah, I got to learn the rules here. If I knew the rules, I could be doing a lot better. Miss Universe, though. Sure. Oh boy! Then Steve has a plan where he develops this insane clock thing.
Oh my God! What is going on with it? By the way, Steve has he sends a letter to PM Blair. Okay. Because they're like, hey, we're figuring this out. We're hanging out at their house. I've clogged 3 of their toilets. Whatever.
Good thing they got 3 dozen.
So yes. Arthur keeps moving us to new rooms, which is sweet. She's getting him. This is his letter to PM Blair. Steve's
related to PM Dawn is
yeah.
Sorry.
She's getting him to do new reflexes that have nothing to do with another world. What?
Blair is reading this in real time to Congress, she's getting them to do things that have. Okay, never mind that. We just have been told that everything's going well, and we should not worry anymore. No need to delve into what Steve wrote.
He turns it around and shows it. He's got the code breakers to his left, an entire table of code breakers. Shows them the sentence. They're like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Steve is obviously. Come on.
Was Steve writing in Navajo? I don't understand. Or it could be a sitcom-y thing where Prime Minister Blair is like, all right, I'll go read your letter, Steve. He walks in. He walks back in, tarred and feathered. Steve, your letter did not go over well. That's the last time I read one of your things to Congress.
All right, yes. So I'm sorry. The clocks thing, what is going on with this?
Is it worth reading just to see if anyone can make sense of it? Steve drew a diagram and asked Arthur to have the object on the paper made by government workers. So Arthur's the butler, right?
Yes, Arthur's the beloved butler. Like, I'll miss you most of all, Arthur.
Yeah. It was a kind of clock, but instead of a fixed round face with moving hands, this clock had no moving hands. Okay, so not really that much like a clock. And the 2-foot wide face spun around. So it's a rotating disc. A circle of 100 pieces of 1/8 inch thick wooden dowels were glued to the border of the face. So it's like a wheel of fortune, maybe. Another piece of dowel was fixed on a mounting. When the pieces of dowel in the face passed the fixed dowel and were in alignment for an instant, it was an event which I would get Hal to recognize. So it's like a zoetrope.
Is it like a wheel of fortune kind of thing? Is it this direction or is it this? Like
well, because when you a clock, you would not say if it was like a roulette wheel or wheel of fortune, because that would be insane.
So it was up on it. So it was this way.
An electric motor turned the clock face once a second to divide a second into 1/100 intervals. If I wanted Hal to move a large object, I would get him to move it 100 times a second over a period of time. I would get him to move it each time there was a click on the clock 100 times a second. Now I had to get Hal to respond to this thing. That would take some work. What? Insane. So that's,
wooden chess pieces, drilled holes in their bottoms.
Yeah.
This is the great, I imagine this trip. Steve and Arthur drove to a nearby hardware store to buy Dowell's electric drills. So, man, what's going on with you? Well, sir, I have scrubbed your toilets thrice today. They're getting quite a workout, I do say. Yeah, well, it's the big meals we have, so I'm going to blame it on that. I'm not used to it.
Blame it on the toad in the hole, spotted dick doesn't sit right with Steve-O.
Bubble and squeak is right. Am I right, Arthur?
Hey, turn right there.
You have nudged me with your elbow.
That appears to be the gentleman's club, sir. That's...
I gotta swing in real quick and just stop at this place. Cruisin' Chubbies. I did not know we had that.
Yeah, I franchised it with that $1 million all those rubes sent me. This is the second one in the world. Yeah, pretty much a big shot here. I think Denise really likes me.
Hey, on the way out, I got one of those panties rolled up like a rose from my babe. What do you think of it? It's very, very nice, sir.
The Empress will appreciate it, I do believe. Perhaps her next pinup, she will be sporting them.
So Arthur was going around. Arthur had to go up to some guy and go like, your plywood, I believe is the word. Wood that has been plied. Yes, I know what plywood is, sir.
Yes. The gentleman in the tap-out tank top is requesting drill bits and dowels. Yes, the gentleman there who's he appears to be humping the orange 5-gallon buckets. Yes, he's the Empress's husband.
That gentleman there who's making a V with his first and second fingers and putting his tongue through it. That is the gentleman of which I am referring. Yes.
Yes, he is quoted as saying "ah la 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 la." So, yeah, an unlikely duo. I'd read that book.
Steve and Arthur, The Adventures of Steve and Arthur, for sure. That sounds great.
It reminded me of in the Garfield Christmas special, Odie keeps going around and gathering all these objects. He steals something from everybody, and they're like, "Where did my spring go? Where did my pen go? Where did my pasta spoon?" And then it turns out this crazy contraption Odie's been constructing. He gives it to Garfield. He's like, "What the hell is this?" But it's a back scratcher, and that's sort of what Steve's doing. He's just like, "I don't know, put some dowels on there, and then stick that bishop on the clock that's not really a clock, and then at the end of it's going to be revealed that he's created this machine that saves the world." But for now, it just looks like some garbage glued to other garbage.
So wooden clocks are being built by Arthur, and hardware store trips are made, and all of this you're trying to follow. You're like, what? Triangulate geometric patterns, blah blah blah. Yeah, we got to get this done, and then. Hard return. What about the chipmunks? Was that something that I wasn't really thinking. I was trying to noodle out, what are you trying to do with this? Wooden dowels and chess pieces drilled with what?
What did you do, and then what are you trying to do with it are two questions that he has left pretty much unanswered. But then the chipmunks, at least they weren't Chekhov's chipmunks, you know. She did introduce them into the ecosystem, and now is going to explain why. What I did was lay a small rug on the ground in case there were little chipmunk poos I couldn't see. Then I lay myself down on the rug with my forearms on the ground. The chipmunks came out out of curiosity, and I finger snapped some nuts or pieces of cheese at them. In time, I got them to eat out of my hand. The Parkers had never seen this done and thought it was charming. And then here we go. They took videos of me feeding the little guys by hand and put them on several social media websites, having the effect of ruling out copyrights. The videos were shown in every corner of the planet, especially on kids' programs, which showed them every day. I suppose people found the videos comforting. If I took care of little rodents, much more would I take care of people. So people are charmed by this.
If you're watching these, and first of all, you have electricity, so that's good. You're watching someone give nuts and cheese to some rodents?
To vermin.
First of all, give me that nuts and cheese. I had 2 of my children died. And also give me the chipmunks because I will roast them as well. So what are you doing?
At this point, I'll eat the little chipmunk poos that you can't see. Like, I'm desperate.
I'm not charmed by this. What?
Especially because it's in the middle of you. Like if it's something that makes you say, get back to throwing a quarter into a bucket or building a clock with 100 dowels on it, that is a really bad use of your time.
So then, whatever they were doing, which I could not figure out, and I'm not going to give any time to trying to figure out what she was doing. Steve goes to Blair's scientists, Prime Minister Blair. Blair's scientists and engineers threw together the 4 clocks in 2 weeks. Steve went to look at them and was satisfied. So now they're taking orders from Steve, like the scientists, like, what do you want me to do? Well, what I figure is you go and you get, like, you know that glue? It's not Gorilla Glue. It's that white stuff. You're just talking about wood glue? Yeah. You grab that crap, right? And you make a line down a thing, and then you do a clock, and then it spins past a marker. What are you talking about? And I need 4 of them. Like, 4? No, I don't even know what 1 is. What do you need 4? Like, you'll figure it out. See you, pinhead.
Listen, I took a bowling credit in college for the 3 months that I was there. Yeah, it's amazing that he's just giving the orders, just walking down. Looks cool. Looks pretty sweet. You single? All right, cool. Call me. I'm a millionaire.
You're kind of nerdy. I like that.
I marked this to say, just read it out loud because it's as close as we're going to get to this making sense. It turned out I could use my black and white vision, and the tag system, I guess this is what she's built here, to fix HAL on immovable objects like the Golden Gate Bridge, Empire State Building, St. Peter's, the Taj Mahal, Mount Fuji, and anything else in the world where I wanted HAL to do something. That's verbatim what it says, and I guess that we're going to have to see how that happens. She's going to put these little rotating things. It looks like probably the gears and mousetrap that you turn to get the whole thing started to make the man fall into the bathtub. Like, that's sort of what she has built here, or what Steve has built. And that's going to allow HAL to do something on major world landmarks.
What is the something? Like, put coins in cans?
I mean, I would just be trying to get HAL to make the wind blow again. It seems like that's our only real problem here.
Yeah, that does seem like, I don't know. Oh, here's this one. Just like, I guess I blew past this, but if anyone has any idea, we need 4 larger versions of this thing. Steve explained to Blair, this little one doesn't divide a second into enough parts. HAL's motions are too choppy. We need clocks to divide a second into milliseconds. Okay. Any follow-ups? Yeah. Why 4? Asked the PM. We need at least one of them moving at all times. If all 4 stopped at once while HAL was doing something, the results are unpredictable. We don't want to find out what happens. Follow-up question. Must they be in synchronization? In perfect synchronization. Hal needs only one of them at a time, but there has to be at least one running at all times. I know this is a tough problem. What are you talking about? You need 4 of them because one needs to be running at all times? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, 4 does not seem to be a special number. You could have 3, you could have 10, as long as all of them don't stop running at any time, doing whatever the hell it is they're doing.
Ow, my head exploded. I don't know what that means.
Wow. It's sort of like imagine the dumbest person you know trying to describe like Memento or the logic of one of those type of movies. Like that's I think what we're getting here.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is shocking. Again, I don't know what this guy is doing. I don't know what his purpose is. What is he trying to say? What came before this that he's aping again? That would make sense.
Right.
Like Model Land. I didn't know any of that. I just take it at face value. I don't know what's going on in this book. So if anyone has any theories, please let me know.
Yeah, here are the stakes as it ends this section. By late July, all farmers all over the world were saying their crops were dying for lack of water. Irrigation alone wouldn't save them. There had to be some rain. The media never stopped talking about it. The pressure took its toll on me, but at least I had the tools I needed to get Hal doing something larger and more interesting. So, all right, crop failures.
I don't know. That coin in the can stuff was pretty interesting. I can't imagine anything more interesting than that, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Let's wrap this thing up with our dumb sentences of the week.
Dumb, 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 dumb sentence of the week.
All right. These are the dumb sentences of this week. Most of these are, of course, submitted by our beloved Patreon supporters. They look as good in a green dress as Theresa does, I would say, no matter who they are. In the world, they're as beloved in the world. They can do anything with chipmunks they want, and people will watch the videos of it. Patreon.com/372 pages. Cece submitted, Kathleen took us to wherever there were people, public parks, a street festival of sorts that was going on that day, and an afternoon concert of folk song groups. And Cece said, I assumed it was Ireland's annual, the world runs out of food in 200 days, we're all going to die festival. Andrew submitted, they knew, and knew that I knew that they knew, etc.
Yes.
Jeff submitted, after a continental breakfast, coffee, a muffin, and one piece of toast, which helped explain why French girls were so skinny, we set out to see the Champs-Élysées. I think Alejandro submitted that too and said, yes, the classic thing that helps keep French girls skinny. Carbs. Alex said, they took videos of me feeding the little guys by hand and put them on several social media websites, having the effect of ruling out copyrights. And he asked what that last part means.
Okay, so other people have my saying, like, that doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about?
They said, does he think if you post a video to social media, the company gets the copyrights to it, but if you post it to more than one place, the copyrights cancel each other out? I'd say there's a very good chance he thinks that.
I'm sure he does.
Could easily mean anything else, though.
Jerry down at the VFW told him that. It has to be true.
Yeah. Hey, if you put no copyright intended in your YouTube description, it negates all that. They can't take it down.
Jerry, you fly an upside-down flag in front of your trailer court. Like, that's right. I'm sovereign territory. Everybody knows that.
Jerry wasn't paying attention because he was drawing a green Sharpie on his CD to give it more better sound quality. Chap submitted, in one day, I had inspired a larger religious revival than all the television evangelists in history. And he says, ignoring the then typo, which is THEN, this is a perfect example of Bhutan's casual assertion of massive social upheaval on a planetary scale, which leads to absolutely no visible changes in how people behave. Amanda submitted, the doctor says she's always thought of herself as your mom, which wouldn't be so dumb if she referred to the doctor, but in the context, it seems to refer to Theresa's mom. So Rick submitted, want to go for a ride, little girl? And Rick just said, Grandpa, no. Heather submitted, what I did was, lay down on a ground in case there were little chipmunk poos I couldn't see. Then I lay myself down on the rug with my forearms on the ground. And she says she's not scared of introducing an invasive species to the British Isles, but scared of that species' poos. Got it. Hey, the hantavirus is all over the news these days, so that's just from mice poo, so you never know. Harrison submitted, I laughed, which is, he says, you guys work too hard. Just sing the James Bond theme and the theater will be in hysterics. So yeah, maybe there's time to work in the phonetic James Bond lyrics into these MST episodes coming up.
It's not too late. We haven't shot them all yet.
If you hear someone just shouting that from the back of the room and it sounds like it's not supposed to be on camera, that'll be me. Jeff submitted, there you go. The ship's rolling motion was comforting to sailors who loved the rockabye baby sensation, but in the last 2 days, the ship felt virtually motionless as it skimmed on water as smooth as plate glass. And Jeff says, actually, this is a sly reference to my favorite line in Moby Dick when Ahab proclaims, I know not all that may be coming, but be it what it will, I'll go to it laughing because of the rockabye baby sensation of this ship.
Oh, that's
He also wonders.
Wow.
He also wonders, did Mike ever get around to reading that Ron Goulart Groucho Marx mystery he was supposed to read due to being bad at real or fanfic, or is he hoping we all forgot? I am guessing that we all forgot, because I didn't remember that either, but get right on that. I bet that'll be a top priority.
Yes. I'll get to it.
Scott said a woman doesn't mind dying so much if she knows her body will be preserved. Gordon submitted, at this point, the full frontal image showed me calm and thoughtful. Eamon submitted, remember how I told you that when a baseball game was being lost, I said it's not going to end this way? He said, the fact that Norman chooses to refer to a baseball game rather than any specifically makes it endlessly confusing. Also, I told you, I said, is she telling her mother in a letter about how she told her in the past that she had said something? If you're going to get hung up on this and not the clocks with 100 dowels, we're not going to be able to get anywhere in this book. The other Katie said, Hal thickens your hair, gives you throwing accuracy, gives you great strength, and defends you from sharks. And she said, unregulated supplement claims are really getting out of hand. Hayden submitted, atomic nuclei never get close enough to feel each other's gravity. According to Weird Al, he says, my pancreas attracts every other pancreas in the universe with a force proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the distance between them. But I don't know. It must be a dark matter thing. Nathan submitted, he helped me through the teen years and showed me a boy could be a friend. This was Jeff, I think. He said, what a delightful way of saying she banished him to the friend zone. Ryan submitted, I thought for a full minute. Rachel submitted, Jeff would probably marry an average girl, but for the rest of his life, he would remember he had once dated a drop-dead gorgeous woman. Voluntari submitted, it was a weak thing to say, but I couldn't think of anything clever. And said, a one-sentence review of Empress Theresa provided by the book itself. Janelle submitted, people must be crazy to live here without chipmunks. And says, see, this is why I love this podcast. Where else would I be forced to read the I Miss Chipmunks screed from a character in a book? Jen submitted, the world held its breath for 27 seconds. He said, a classic dumb sentence of the week if I've ever seen one. Kate submitted, grandstanding is hard to resist, I guess, and maybe I'd do it myself before all this was over. And she said, all you have done is grandstand. Cameron and Anne both submitted, tum-tum, da-rum-tum, ta-da-dum, ta-da, ta-da, dum-ta-rum, ta-da, da-dum-dee-dum. Daniel submitted, Al is neither an alien nor a force. He says it's dumb because if Hal had consciousness, which it seems to have by all accounts, it would then be an alien entity. But if it is mindless, it would definitionally be a force. So the freshly sworn-in president has no idea what she's saying. Claire and Eric both submitted, your clothes were full of coagulated shark blood. And Claire said, a dumb sentence, yes, but maybe also the best sentence. Mark said, I can't waste time on idiots. And he added, said no jackal ever. It does seem to be a lot of what we do here. Kara submitted, by the time we walked up to the tower, we had already seen enough of it. The Eiffel Tower, of course, is what
Yes.
that's referring to. Colin submitted, Helen Parker and I drifted to the family room, which was on the right of the foyer, unlike the living room on the left, and we did some family bonding. Female bonding. And he says this is another instance of how humans talk and describe things. Katie submitted, that afternoon, a courier brought in 25 chipmunks in 10 cat transportation cages. And she says, never in 1,000 years did I expect the chipmunk subplot. 25 chipmunks in 10 cat carriers. This took me aback. My brain immediately was like, why 2.5 chipmunks per cage? You would think there would be an even number. Some chipmunks had less cage mates than others. Arthur submitted, there's no way to get to the atoms. He says, I was reading this while my partner's cat was recovering from dental surgery and reading out choice bits, and this is the one which startled the cat. A shot of her reaction is attached, and the cat does sort of look at him like, what the hell are you doing with your life, Arthur? Brian submitted, a 50-pound desktop computer is all controlled by a chip no larger than a fingernail. And he said, even my 386 computer with monitor wasn't this heavy. Wasn't this written in 2014? Who had 50-pound computers by then? It's a good question. That is the dumb sentences. I said, let's see. Oh, how about one of these two? This Kurtz guy believed in the wrong thing. That's referring to Colonel Kurtz from the 1800s book Heart of Darkness. I also had, after a morning of intense ennui, I walked to the bedroom to chill out, said the world's savior.
I just had one that it was referenced by one of the, I don't think you read it, though. I'll read it. This was the foyer thing.
Okay.
Helen Parker and I drifted to the family room, which was on the right of the foyer, unlike the living room on the left, and we did some female bonding. What? Unlike? Is that how you... I guess it's true that it's unlike it, but things are just what they are, right? The foyer's here. Unlike, it always... Doesn't that slight negative association with that? That guy, you know, he's a good guy. Unlike Connor over here. Like, you know... The foyer is to the right, unlike the living room. Seen the living room? It's on the left of the foyer. Can you believe that crap?
It's going to make water leak from your eyes as you read that. It's another way of describing. No one's ever described anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? Unlike? Yes, it is unlike it in that it's... This banana is unlike this cow. I mean, that's
the basement
true
is
as far
on
as
the
it goes.
bottom floor of my house, unlike the living room, which is on the mid floor. Like, okay, like,
Right.
yeah, that's insane. And I glossed over it just because I was so disappointed we didn't get to see what the female bonding entailed. I didn't notice it until right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, all right. Let's. The fact that there's her personality change is coming. It fills me with a lot of
That will be
hope
fun.
for this.
Yeah, to see him do a world dictator is going to be fun. Because the things he can handle so far, like, you know, chipmunks in his hands. You know, I'm trying to think, like, what is, well, tennis with, who's the author of long books? What's his name?
Foster Wallace.
David Foster Wallace wrote about tennis, right? The World According to Garp guy wrote about wrestling a lot, you know. This guy writes about chipmunks. It'll be interesting to see someone with this kind of talent move into the arena of having a 18-year-old girl married to Steve Hartley be a world dictator. I just, you know,
Supreme overlord.
yeah, I'm looking forward to this. You know, Shakespeare taking on, you know, the ships, the seas, you know, in or him taking on the kingship in Scotland. This is this guy taking on an 18-year-old, a hot 18-year-old becoming a world dictator.
Great. We got that to look forward to. Thanks, everybody.